friendships. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Burrow Fowler Stadium in Monett, Missouri. Tonight, it's the annual Berry County Brawl between the Monett Cubs and the Cassville Wildcats. Monett is the host school this year, and we're glad to be along with you here tonight in Monett at Burrow Fowler Stadium for the annual event. This game got started back in 2013. Now, the Wildcats and the Cubs have been playing each other for many more years than that, but the Berry County Brawl surrounding the game and the trophy all got started in 2013, so that makes this the 10th edition of the annual Berry County Brawl. And this year, it's in a new part of the schedule as it's closing out the regular season. All the other years, it had been played in the middle part of the schedule. In fact, one year it was even in the first third of the season. But this year they have moved the Berry County Brawl to the final night of the regular season. So not only bragging rights and the trophy on the line tonight between the Cubs and the Wildcats, but also some district implications might come out in the results of this game as well. We thank you for being with us tonight here on the Talon Network on 97.7 FM, CassvilleWebTV.com, and also online at RadioTalon.com. Sammy Clapper along with Jeremy Marple. Todd Speakman, as always, running the camera for us on CassvilleWebTV.com. And Jeremy, it's hard to believe that this is already the 10th edition of the Berry County Brawl. It was kind of neat when they come up with the idea and got it all instituted back in 2013, and now here we are, year number 10.
Well, it's a decade, and as you stated, these two teams have been playing each other for a long, long time, but it just gives it a little more as if this game needed anything extra to play for, but it just gives it, a little bit more on that bragging right side, and the kids, they get excited about that trophy. They're playing not only for each other and not only against neighboring community, but they're playing for that piece of hardware, and it's bragging rights to keep that thing at home or for either side to take it home with them.
And it's not something entirely new. We see it around Southwest Missouri. Of course, Mount Vernon and Aurora have had the Bell Bowl for many years.
Right.
And, of course, tonight, another big one going on over in Christian County. The Backyard Brawl between Nixa and Ozark is happening tonight. So this was just kind of natural progression as to come up with the idea, and they did back in 2013. The two schools got together with the athletic directors and the coaches and got it started, and here we go to the 10th edition tonight. When you look back over the history of the Berry County Brawl, Cassville won the inaugural brawl back in 2013. Then the Cubs won 3 in a row, and then now Cassville is on a 5-game winning streak in the brawl. And out of the 9 games that's been played, you kind of expect with the way these two schools compete against each other, they would have been a little closer contest, but only 3 of the 9 have been close. The other 6 have been kind of lopsided.
Yeah, and, it's one of those things you really can't explain. You look at last year's game, the Wildcats come from behind late, score, and what was that, 21-20?
21-20, right.
So, we've had a couple of those, and those are fun. But I tell you what, both of these teams and communities, they like a lopsided win in this game if they can get it tonight. I really don't know. It's going to be interesting to see because both of these teams, they've got some offensive firepower. They have the ability to play good defense. So we'll just see, coming out tonight, we'll see who can keep the emotions in check and who plays the best brand of football.
Yeah, and you look at the other 2 matchups that were close besides last year, it was the years that the 2 teams made deep runs in the playoffs. 2016, Monett won 21-20, and of course they won the state championship that year. 2019, Cassville won 21-14, and they went all the way to the championship game and finished runner-up. So not to say that the winner of this game always springboards people into the postseason, but those were the competitive games in the course of the 3. 2 out of the 3, the teams had very successful years. Well, coming into tonight, as we jump into the Mercy Hospital pregame show, Mercy Hospital in Cassville, where your life is their life's work. The Cubs are 2-6. They're 2-3 in the Big 8 West. Cassville 4-4. They are 1-4 in the Big 8 West, and both teams coming off a loss a week ago. Monett traveled up to Nevada, got off to a bad start, fell to the Tigers. Cassville got off to a rough start against Lamar, cut the lead in half, but then Lamar went ahead and pulled away in the second half and picked up a big win down in Cassville. So both teams trying to rebound, regain some momentum that they had both picked up. Monett was on a two-game winning streak before they lost to Nevada. Cassville had also picked up a couple of wins in the final third of the season, trying to build momentum as district starts next week.
Well, and that's it too. Not only do they want to compete in this football game and win this game, but you're trying to be playing really good football heading into the playoffs. And we'll talk more about playoff football shortly. But yeah, it's you don't want to have a letdown game right here heading in. You know, we're in week 9. You don't want to have a letdown game getting ready to head into week 10. You want to be playing some good football and have some momentum behind you.
Well, looking at the Berry County Brawl here tonight, the other Big 8 matchups, Nevada at Seneca, Lamar at Hollister, East Newton at McDonald County, Reed Spring at Mount Vernon, Marshfield at Springfield Catholic, and Aurora at Rogersville. And at Reed Spring at Mount Vernon, that's kind of a winner-take-all thing in the Big 8 East, as Reed Spring coming into tonight are still unbeaten in the East at 5-0, Mount Vernon 4-1. Marshfield and Rogersville had kind of been in that race, but they've both stumbled in the last couple of weeks. So now it's down to the Wolves and the Mountaineers, and of course, if Mount Vernon can defeat Reed Spring, they will both have the same 5-1 record to close out the Big 8 East. On the west side, Seneca, they are hosting Nevada tonight, and they're trying to go undefeated in the regular season and the Big 8 West. Lamar right behind them at 5-1. But Seneca's trying to do something that team out of the West hasn't done for a while, and that's run through the schedule unbeaten.
Very, very difficult to do. Certainly in the Big 8 West, you know, this year there's some really good football teams, and if Seneca is able to cap this season undefeated, they've really done something. They've got something to be proud of, because it has been a gauntlet of a Big 8 West schedule this year.
Well, we'll jump in tonight's field condition report. It's brought to you by Security Insurance of Cassville. What condition is your insurance in? Are you covered for the hazards of weather or losses unexpected? Call 847-8384. That's Security Insurance in Cassville, 847-8384. Of course, Monett, like most of the teams now in the Big 8, in the East or the West, have the artificial surface. So we do not have to worry about field conditions, because the artificial turf in great shape here tonight, and we do not have any rain to worry about. So playing conditions should not be an issue this evening.
You know, when you talk about playing, you know, field conditions and they have turf, you got to talk about something else, and let's talk about the weather. You know, we're here in the latter part of October. Very, very mild temperatures, little breeze coming out of the south end zone. So it's going to be just really, really nice playing conditions tonight.
Yeah, I got up to 80 degrees this afternoon. Expected only to get down into the lower 60s tonight. So might be a little warm for the players, but the spectators are definitely going to enjoy this one. They don't have to worry about bundling up for this year's edition of the Berry County Brawl. Well, we'll be back with more of the Mercy Hospital pregame show, Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where quality care matters. But we need to take a break, let you hear from some of our sponsors. We'll continue on here from Monett. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back here in Monett, the annual Berry County Brawl between the Cassville Wildcats and the Monett Cubs. Still about 20 minutes away from the start of tonight's football game. It is senior night. This is the final regular season home game for the Cubs. So they have 21 seniors on the football team besides all of the cheerleaders and band members and all of the other seniors that they are recognizing. So it's taken a little while to get through that list, as there was a huge senior class just for the Cubs football team, let alone all the other fall participants here. So they're being recognized in pregame ceremonies. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show, Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where quality care matters. And it's time to check in with tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory. Mark Whittemire and the crew at Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville are looking forward to a great season of Wildcat football. And just like the quality portrayed by each player on the field, Wesco offers that same quality merchandise and customer service. Well, I know one key to a win tonight would be able to control the line of scrimmage and be able to run the football. They might work in the pass a little bit as well, but Monett's defense in the games that they have had success has been dominating, and that's one thing you got to try to establish early on, is to try to set a tone offensively and find a way to crack into that Cubs defensive unit.
Yeah, no question. You've got to match the physicality of the Cubs offensive and defensive lines. If you can do that, you're going to be successful. Another thing, Sammy, is for these Wildcat players, keep your emotions in check as this game gets going. The Wildcats a couple of times this year have buried themselves very quickly in games. You can't afford to get down 7, 14, 21 points in the first quarter of a football game and expect to have pull yourself out of that. So come out quick, fast, play physical, and try to keep those emotions in check in a big game like this.
Another thing that looking at this one just from the outside, you never know what's going to happen once the game starts, but just over the course of the season is special teams play. Cassville has done a really good job in the return game with Trey Wilson and Hernan Hernandez, and now they got Jake Anthony's back there helping out as well. Monett also has a couple of speedsters with Jake Hoyt and Ian Hildebrand returning kicks. So you're going to have to do your job, stick to your assignment, and not allow either one of those sets of guys that we just mentioned to find open seams, because if you do, they're going to make you pay.
And you're right. And the Wildcats mostly this year have done a very good job on special teams and in kick coverages and things of that nature. But more of the same. We talk about special teams, and we may not talk about them enough, but special teams are so important in winning a football game, because they can definitely have impact you on the winning side and certainly losing a football game.
Yeah, because the Cubs have returned a couple of kickoffs this year for touchdowns, and we saw in week number 1 the return of the return game of the Cassville Wildcats, both punts and kickoffs, were what helped them defeat Hollister, because they were setting up with great field position because they were getting great yardage on their returns that night.
Yep, no question. Anytime that your special teams leads to good field position, that's a good thing, man.
Well, again, tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings. They invite you to stop by and check out their wide selection of furniture, mattresses, and appliances. And you can also find them online, wescohome.com. That's wescohome.com. Well, as we said, this is the final night of the regular season. Next week, district play begins. Class 4, District 6 is where the Monett Cubs are. West Plains, they have the top seed, and with their point advantage, they're probably going to hang on to that, so they'll get a first-round bye, as there's 7 teams in that district. Then you got Bolivar 2, Rogersville 3, Marshfield 4, McDonald County 5, Monett 6, Hillcrest 7. McDonald County and Monett's got the head-to-head over the Mustangs, so if it stayed that way, Monett would jump up to the 5th spot. But we were talking earlier with Jared Langford from the Cassville Democrat and the Monett Times. Hillcrest is playing Parkview tonight. If something crazy happens there, they might try to jump over Monett. You've got Rogersville and Marshfield. Now, Rogersville's playing Aurora. Marshfield's playing Catholic. They're the favorites in both of those games, but we've seen crazier things happen this year in the Big 8. So you got to be looking at those games as well as to where it all plays out. Right now, you look at it, Monett jumps over McDonald County. They'll be playing Marshfield. But if Marshfield can get enough points, they might jump Rogersville, and then the Cubs might be headed to Logan Rogersville. You never know what's going to happen, and we'll see how it all plays out. With all the formulas that are thrown in to this now, it's pretty much way above my pay grade. I just kind of wait for Misha to throw it all into the computer and tabulate it, and then check and see the standings and who's going to play when and where next week.
Very rarely does it lay out just perfectly for us to look at. Most years it's, okay, we're just going to have to wait and see how Misha figures this out, because you're right. You points for winning, points for playing up in classification, points for winning 14, more than 14 points.
The strength of schedule of your opponents.
Everyone.
Yes.
And your opponent. Yeah. So it's just a crazy thing to think about, and I'm glad I'm not the one. You and I, glad the broadcast teams aren't the ones that have to figure these things out.
No kidding. Well, Cassville, they're in Class 3, District 6, so they're going to get some bonus points tonight just for playing a Class 4 school. They are also in an odd-numbered district, but there's only 6 in theirs, and I say odd because it's not a full 8-team bracket. Of course, 6 is an even number, but that means 2 teams are going to get byes. Right now, Reed Spring and Osage are those top 2 seeds. But Osage just jumped up to that 2 spot last week. You got Buffalo right behind them. Cassville's right behind those 2. And then Aurora and Clinton bringing up the rear. Right now, it looks like Cassville's going to be hosting Aurora, but we got to wait and see what happens tonight. Buffalo and Osage both taking on, and Buffalo is playing Warsaw, which is a Class 2 school, so they're not going to get bonus points, but Warsaw's a pretty good team. Osage playing Versailles, also a Class 2 school, but Versailles is not having a very good year. So what happens in those games is going to factor in as to where Cassville finishes and who they're going to be playing next Friday.
And Cassville's got to take care of business tonight. And so, yeah.
Just about every coach I talked to this week in preparation for tonight said just that. It's too complicated to try to figure it out. All we got to do is take care of our business, win the football game, and then we'll go where they tell us to go and play who they tell us to play.
Yeah, tune the noise out, take care of what's in front of you, and worry about it tomorrow.
Every one of the coaches I talked to this week said that exact same thing. It's like we can't control what other people are doing, control ourselves, win the football game, and then what happens, happens.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, we've still got about 10 or 12 minutes before the opening kick. We need to continue on, but first we will let you hear from some of our sponsors. Back with more after this. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Whether it's balls or strikes, fouls or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind when you attend sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we can teach our students. This sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care of Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Your Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville. You can find them online at lesjacobsford.com, and they remind you that your used car has never been worth more for trade-in, and they'll even buy your car. So come by and see them at the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. And if you're tuned in on the Apple or Google phone apps, they're brought to you courtesy of White Funeral Home in Cassville. At White Funeral Home, they measure their success by the satisfaction of the families they serve. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Berry County Health Department. They have a list of registered professionals who can help you with your needs if you're building your dream home in the country or need repairs for your current septic system. Find them online at berrycountyhealth.com or give them a call, 847-2114. We've got the national anthem to be played, so we are going to step aside and then be back with more of the Mercy Hospital pregame right after this. Back with you at Monett. Sammy Clapper along with Jeremy Marple. The big Berry County Brawl is about ready to get underway. We're down to just about 3.5 minutes before tonight's opening kick between the Monett Cubs and the Cassville Wildcats. They're bringing the captains out. Coach Clay Weldy bringing his captains across, and Coach Ethan Lewis bringing his captains across as well for the coin toss. Tonight's coin toss brought to you by the Clark Center. They have offices in Berry, Lawrence, and Dade counties. You can find out more by going to clarkmentalhealth.com and find the phone number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. All right, it's time for tonight's Wildcat starting lineup. It's brought to you by Fast Trip, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. At quarterback, sophomore Bodie Rose. He's 5'10", 160 pounds. He's ran for nearly 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's thrown for just shy of 900 yards and 8 scores. Coming out of the backfield, Trey Wilson, the leading ground gainer for the Wildcats. He's a 5'8", 155 senior. He's ran for 646 yards and 11 touchdowns. He's also got 3 receiving touchdowns. Bryson Jacobson, 6'1", 170 junior. He's ran for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns. The receivers, Garrett Ewing, 5'6", 140 junior. Ewing has 5 touchdown receptions and over 500 yards catching passes on the season. He'll be joined by Hernan Hernandez, 5'8", 175-pound senior. Tight end is Isaac Hadlow, 6', 200-pound senior. Center is Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 200-pound junior. Right guard, Ethan Lamborn, 6'1", 230 senior. Right tackle, Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235 senior. Left guard is Nick Fierro, 6', 200-pound sophomore. Left tackle is 6'1", 230-pound senior Austin Revelorio. The defense at the tackles, DJ Glidewell, 5'8", 240 freshman, and Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235 senior. Defensive ends, Ethan Lamborn, 6'1", 215 junior, and Nick Fierro, 6', 200-pound sophomore. Linebackers, Angel Vale, 5'9", 160 junior, Keaton Schellenberger, 6'1", 195 senior, and Canyon King, 5'11", 185 sophomore. The corners, Jake Anthony's, 5'8", 165 senior, and Hernan Hernandez, 5'8", 175 senior. Free safeties, Garrett Ewing, 5'6", 140 junior, and the strong safety Bryson Jacobson, 6'1", 170 junior. Again, the Wildcats starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, snacks, or more, Fast Trip has it all and at the very best prices. 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Well, the coin toss has taken place, and what has happened?
Wildcats won the toss and deferred, so the Cubs will get the ball first. Wildcats will get to send their defense on the field very quickly.
So that's going to wrap up tonight's Mercy Hospital pregame show as we get ready for tonight's opening kickoff. Mercy Hospital Cassville, where your life is their life's work. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware, 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. Wildcats will be kicking things off. Peter Littlefield will tee it up, dropping back deep. For the Cubs, we've got Marcus Young. He'll be joined back there by Ian Hildebrand. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Come try out the Baywash Car Wash in Cassville with the IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. It features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash, clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Cassville in their road white jerseys with gray pants, black and gold stripe, and the black helmets. Cubs in their purple jerseys with white pants and the purple helmets and the gold numbers on the front and back. Squib kick down the right hash is scooped up by Hildebrand. He'll bring it between the hashes, and up the field he comes. He's across the 35, out to the 40-yard line, and a good return for the Cubs on the opening kickoff tonight in the 2022 Berry County Brawl.
Yeah, this time Littlefield squibbing it down the field, and you can see some of that speed out of Hildebrand right there as he hit that gear, tried to hit that seam, but the Wildcats able to bring him down.
They spot him down at the Monett 41-yard line, and that's where the Cubs will start their first drive of the night. Davin Madrid, quarterback for the Cubs, leads them in rushing, 483 yards and 4 touchdowns. They run the flex wing formation with flankers on both sides, and they bring one in motion. They hand the ball off. No, they fake the handoff and pitch the ball to Connor Pointer. Pointer trying to get to the short side of the field and turn it up the sidelines. Good job by the Cassville defense to get to him and knock him down after a short gain of only about 1.5 yards, and it'll bring up second down and long. They spot him at the 43.
Yeah, short side of the field. Wildcat defenders flying up there. Look like Hernandez, first one there. He does a nice job on the corner out there in tackling in space. He comes up well. He sheds blocks well, and he's a very good tackler out on the edge.
Caden Palmer splits out wide to the left. Madrid up under center, brings a man in motion. That is Hildebrand. He'll reset along the right end. Now they bring everyone in tight. Marcus Young drops back. They pitch the ball to him, trying to get behind a couple of blockers. He's hit in the backfield and dropped at the 41-yard line. Great penetration by the Cassville defense as they get to the Cubs ball carrier and drop him for a loss.
Angel Vale, nice job reading the play, reading the pitch. He came straight up the field, met the ball carrier in the backfield. Big time play right there for Vale.
So Monett back to where they started at their own 41, and it'll be 3rd down and 10. A very balanced rushing attack by the Cubs. They've got 5 players with more than 200 yards rushing on the year, led by the 483 of Madrid. And then you've got Pointer at 389, Hoyt at 237, and Harvey and Young both right at the 200 mark. A wave of Cubs coming to the right sideline, and Cassville right there along with them. And they drop Connor Pointer for a short gain of maybe a yard, and it'll bring up 4th and 9.
Yeah, just kind of student body right that time. Ethan Lamborn, defensive end, getting out there. Also, once again, Hernandez coming in from that defensive back position to bring the ball carrier down. So really nice job in this first series out of this Wildcat defense.
Garrett Ewing and Hernan Hernandez drop back and await the kick. So the Cubs 3 and out on their opening possession. The kick is high, but not real deep. It bounces at the 33, kind of takes a sideways hop, and then it rolls inside the 30, still rolling, and it will finally go dead inside the 25-yard line, and that's where Cassville will start their opening drive of the night.
Hernandez had thoughts of going up and trying to make the fair catch right there. May have been a little bit of a catch maybe on the run. Probably a good idea right there. Let the ball drop. Wildcats going to get the football here for their first series of the night.
33-yard kick, no return. 1st and 10, Cassville. Looks like they put them at the 24-yard line. Wildcats send twin receivers out to the right side. Bodie Rose up under center, split backfield behind him. Monett coming with a 3-man front. And Cassville going to run the ball, and it's loose. It's on the ground at the 30, and it looks like the Cubs have come up with the football. A fumble on the first play of the night, and Monett has recovered at the Cassville 30.
And there's your first momentum piece in this football game as the Wildcats turn it over and give the Cubs great field position right here. Just Wildcats trying to run a little option game around the right edge. And just as the ball carrier got to the line of scrimmage, that ball shot out of there, and the Cubs right there to fall on it.
So 1st and 10, Monett at the Cassville 30. As one play, and the Cubs get the ball back. They snap the ball back to a different player. This time he throws over the top. The catch is made by Hildebrand as the snap went to Josh Harvey, and he throws a strike to Hildebrand for a touchdown.
2 Wildcat defenders in the area, both going for the football. Looked like they kind of collided right there as Hildebrand had snuck just behind them, makes the catch through the traffic and into the end zone.
Well, they went with a different formation. They had Madrid kind of offset and Harvey back in the backfield, kind of in the pistol, and they snapped the ball to him. Now they go with the swing and gate for the 2-point conversion. They snap it to Marcus Young, and he is stopped at the 4-yard line. So the conversion attempt fails, but with 9:33 left to go in the opening quarter, Monett strikes first in the Berry County Brawl. The Cubs lead it over the Wildcats 6-0.
So you come up with a big turnover, Sammy, and in that area of the football field, why not just go right for it? And they went right at the jugular of the Wildcats. They complete the play action pass. Again, 2 Wildcat defenders in the area kind of collided going for that football. Hildebrand able to maintain his balance, catches the football, and crosses the goal line.
So the Cubs now set to kick it away. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware in Cassville. Let them quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's, friendly folks, serious hardware. Hernan Hernandez and Trey Wilson drop back deep for Cassville. Awaiting the kick. And it will be Porter Reed kicking off for the Cubs. 6-0 Monett early on here in the opening quarter. Reed boots this one towards the Monett sideline, bounces at the 38-yard line, and players scrambling for it. Cassville trying to get their second line up to field the football, and it looks like they were able to hang on to it, and the Wildcats will start at their own 35.
Wildcats looking for a better start to this drive. Can't turn the football over in big games like this, and when I say big games, not necessarily, it's the records of these teams are one thing, but a big game emotionally for these football teams, you got to take care of the ball.
Twin receivers to the right. Cassville runs that direction. They hand it off to Trey Wilson, running in behind a wall of blockers, and he pushes ahead out to the 38 or 39-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot him down at the 38 for a gain of 3.
Again, Wildcats just going off right side there. Wilson wrapping both arms around the football. Total ball security on that carry.
So 2nd and 7 for the Wildcats. 9 minutes left to go here in the opening quarter. Again, twin receivers to the right. Bodie Rose takes the snap, gives it to Wilson again. Runs off right tackle, breaks the tackle, and powers his way across the 40 out to the 41 and picks up 3 more yards.
Cubs have good size along that defensive line. Offensive line of the Wildcats have their work cut out for them a little bit tonight, but they've seen bigger defensive lines all season, so it's not something new to them. As they get in the flow of this football game, they'll start getting a little push, and we'll start seeing these running backs have a little more success.
So the first 3rd down conversion try for the Wildcats. Lone setback. They bring a man in motion. Bodie Rose rolls to his right, passes out in the flat. It's caught, and it's good for a 1st down. As the receiver makes the catch, that was Garrett Ewing. He turned the corner and takes it all the way across the 50 down to the Monett 49 for a Wildcat 1st down.
Hey, great play call right there. The Cubs had stacked the box. Lots of purple jerseys in there within about 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. They call a little sprint out pass play. Nice throw by Rose. Good catch out there by Ewing. He's able to turn the corner, pick up a big and needed 1st down.
The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. And that was a tough throw, too, throwing across his body, rolling to the left. Now they bring Wilson in motion. He gets the handoff. Good job by the Cubs to turn him back inside. And he is able to pick up maybe a yard. We'll see where they spun him down at. And it looks like they're going to give him about a half a yard, and it'll bring up 2nd down and long.
Yeah, you'd like to see the blocker for the Wildcats on the edge there get out and seal that edge a little bit. Wilson was trying to get to the corner, but he had to hit the brakes and try to cut upfield. Well, that's where the flow of the defense is right there.
Hernandez comes wide to the left. Ewing goes wide to the right. They also bring Trey Wilson way out wide to the left. Bryson Jacobson all alone in the backfield behind Bodie Rose. He fakes the handoff to Jacobson. Rose is going to run for the first time tonight. And around the right end, and he scampers down to the 45-yard line, picks up about 3 yards, and it's going to bring up another 3rd down.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you don't have much success on 1st down. It's very difficult in your play calling, because you really would like to have some success on 2nd at that point. And when you have nothing on 1st and 3 yards on 2nd, man, it makes it tough in 3rd and long.
Riley Ruark, who is back in the lineup tonight after being out a couple of weeks with injury, is split out wide to the left along with Ewing. They reset the tight end Hadlow around to the left side. And Rose looking to throw, and he's got a man open inside the 40. The catch is made by Ewing once again, and that is good for another Cassville 1st down, as once again they move the chains. The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook or YouTube and then request a free quote.
Ewing's going to be tough to cover for the Cubs in a one-on-one situation. Very quick. He runs nice routes, as we saw right there. He ran the out. Rose on a sprint out to his left. Ewing pops the out. He's open. Good throw. Good catch. And another 1st down. 3rd down conversion as well for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he had 116 yards receiving last week on 6 catches. He's already got 2 catches for 18 tonight. Now it's Ewing looking to throw on to Bodie Rose, and the pass is intercepted inside the 25 by Marcus Young. And for Young, that is his 2nd interception of the season. This Monett secondary's got 6 interceptions, now make it 7, and a couple of them have been returned for touchdowns. But that time the ball just a little underthrown on a little trickeration, and the Cubs get another turnover.
Just an excellent play defensively by Young to stay home and not follow the flow of the play, as they had the quarterback Rose on the wheel route. He tossed the football around the right edge, and then Rose sprinted out down the Cubs sideline. Ewing tried to get it to him, a jump ball situation. Young, very good defensive play to be home there, let alone make the interception.
So Monett starts at their own 24-yard line. The Cubs running the football on first down. Davin Madrid, the quarterback, keeps it himself and dives across the 25 out to the 26, picks up 2 yards.
So we've got a Wildcat football team. Their first 2 possessions of the night, they've turned the football over, giving it back to the Cubs. Big defensive series here for the Wildcats to get the football back.
Second down and about 7 to go. We'll call it a long 7. Cubs reset, swinging guys from right to left. A lot of movement in this offense for Monett. And Madrid pitches the ball back to Young. He drops the football back near the 20-yard line, falls on it, and then is swarmed under by Lamborn. A big loss on the play.
Lamborn's done a great job for this football team this year. That defensive end position, big kid, 6'2", 235 pounds, moves very well, as we saw right there, deep in the backfield, able to get to the ball carrier quickly.
It's a loss of 6 back to the 20-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down and 13. Or excuse me, 3rd down and 13.
I know it's early, but this is a big 3rd down for the Wildcats in this game.
Yeah, try to get the ball back with some decent field position here as they've got the Cubs back inside their own 20. Monett pitches the ball back out to Pointer. Pointer started to cut back against the grain, and there's nowhere to go as the Wildcat defense swarms him under back at the 17-yard line.
Pointer was stood up, and the freshman, DJ Glidewell, put a shot on him at the end of that play. Pointer slow to get up. He does get up, but Glidewell really put a big pop on him at the end of that play. Good defensive set there for the Wildcats. They should get the football back in very good field position here.
They spot him down at the 18 for a loss of 2, and it'll bring up 4th down and 7. And once again, the Cubs to punt. Hoyt gets it high but not extremely deep, bounces at the 41 and then backs up, and it's downed at the 39-yard line, as right there to get on it was Diego Baden. And Cassville with some great starting field position inside the Monett 40.
Yeah, we talk about field position and the importance of it. The Wildcats have a great starting point right here. Turn the ball over their first 2 possessions, looking to clean it up here and finish a drive and get some points at the end of it.
So that ends up only being a 21-yard kick. And the Wildcats take over. Cassville trailing 6-0. Rose looking to throw up top. He's got Ewing sprinting down the right hash, and he overthrows the intended receiver. Ewing covered by Connor Pointer.
Ewing had gotten inside his man and was running right down that hash mark, had about a step on him. Rose trying to lead him, threw the ball well out there, so his man alone could only make that catch, just a little too much on it that time.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert is your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more at MedicareDoneRight.net. 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Monett 39-yard line. Split backfield behind Bodie Rose, twin receivers to the right. Rose gives the ball to Wilson. Nice slide step around one defender, but then he's wrapped up and brought to the ground at the 37 after a gain of 2.
This Cub defense is doing a pretty nice job at the point of attack, not giving big chunk rush yardage to this Wildcat football team. Wildcats have had success when they've gotten Rose out of the pocket and thrown the out routes to his wide receivers.
Well, it's another 3rd down situation for the Wildcats. This one 3rd down and 8 at the Monett 37. Rose throws down the line of scrimmage. Catch is made by Ewing. Gets a kick-out block. He's inside the 30 and is spun down at the 28, and that is good for a Wildcat 1st down. Good little short pass, controlled pass to Ewing. He was able to make the catch on the run, picks up the 1st down. The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. Give them a call for a free quote, 888-364-9527.
Yeah, just a little pass right down the line of scrimmage with a couple of lead blockers, wide receivers getting out there. They get the ball to Ewing in space and let him go to work. Again, very quick-footed and can just cut on a dime, and he's very difficult to tackle in the open field and cover for that matter.
Cassville having a lot of success on 3rd down here in the 1st quarter, trying to keep this drive alive. Rose is going to run. He's being chased from behind, gets away from that man, but then Another Cub defender sprints in and brings him down. He was able to elude Josh Harvey, but a couple of other players bottled him up over on the Cassville sideline. And we've got a flag on the play. It's thrown on the backside all the way over here on the Monett side of the field. And it's going to be a holding call against Cassville. The play basically went for no gain, so the flag thrown right about the line of scrimmage. They're going to back it out to the 38-yard line. First flag of the night against the Wildcats. Marks off 10 yards and takes it back out to the Monett 38, which is close to where the Wildcats started this drive.
Well, not the start that this Wildcat offense wanted tonight. With about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter and kind of struggling to keep drives going here.
6-0 Cubs. Cassville facing first down and about 22. Rose throws underneath. They got the little screen set up, and Monett nearly stepped in and picked it off as Evan Witt read the little bubble screen and stepped into the passing lane and deflected it away.
Yeah, dangerous throw right there, nearly taken the other way for points. Fortunately for the Wildcats, the ball was just deflected to the ground, but they've had success this season running that little bubble screen, but the Cubs are right there on it. And you know both of these teams have scouted each other very thoroughly and prepared for this football game.
So second down and long now for the Wildcats. We're down to 1:42 left to play here at the opening quarter. Monett leading 6-0. Wildcats bring Wilson in motion. Rose rolling that direction. Throws it deep. He's got Ewing heading down the sidelines, and the pass is just off of his fingertips. Ewing had a step on the defensive back, and the ball just barely sails over his head, and it'll bring up third down.
Yeah, once again, Ewing had worked himself open downfield, and as Rose is rolling to his right, the play was there. This end of the field, the Wildcats are traveling, and the wind is at their back a little bit. So just like trying to throw into the wind can cause some issues, throwing with the wind can cause the football to carry on you a little bit right there, and I believe that's what we saw in that pass play.
Yeah, the wind not quite as strong as the night at Springfield Catholic, but it's close. It was very gusty this afternoon. It's let up just a hair after dark, but not a lot. So third down and long. The Wildcats with the wind at their back trying to hurry up and get the snap away, and we've got whistles.
I don't know that they got the snap in time. Yeah,
and it is going to be a delay of game. So they'll back them up 5 yards back to the 43.
Cassville just not been able to get on track offensively in the game so far.
So third down and a bundle. Underneath they go, and it's overthrown. As again, he was trying to get it underneath to Ewing, who had slipped inside of Evan Witt, but the pass went over both of their heads, and it's.
And look at where Hernandez is right now. He had streaked right down the Wildcat sideline, and there was nobody within about 18 yards of him. And Rose just didn't see him.
He was back there at the 15-yard line and nobody around. Marcus Young to return the kick of Hernandez. Rugby-style kicker, boots this one right down the middle of the field, bounces the 20, nearly hopped over the head of Young, but he hauls it down, tries to get to the edge, and great coverage by the Wildcats as they drop him at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, great job flying down the field. If he had let the football go, I believe it would have rolled on into the end zone. It had some steam behind it, bounding down through there. Tried to make a play, but great coverage that time by the Wildcat special teams.
So we've got 65 seconds left here in the opening quarter, and Monett will take over at their own 11. Cubs bring a man in motion. Madrid going to run the football. Looked like he may have wanted to run the option with Young, but he turns the corner himself and is upended before he can get to the 15-yard line. They give him progress. Looks like they're going to spot him down at the 14 for a gain of 3.
Wildcat defense done a fine job tonight in the run game, especially just the one pass play after the turnover, giving the Cubs a 6-0 lead. But overall, this Wildcat defense has played very well.
So 2nd down and 7 for the Cubs. Madrid hands it up the middle, and right there are 2 Cassville defenders to swarm under the Monett running back and drop him for a loss on the play. It looks like they're going to spot him all the way back at the 13-yard, or excuse me, it is the 13-yard line for a loss of 2.
Yeah, once again, Lamborn, the defensive end. We've called his name a few times. Also, DJ Glidewell right there, side by side. Those 2 guys completely blew up that side of the offensive line into the backfield, making a tackle.
That will be the final play of quarter number 1. After 12 minutes of play, Monett leads Cassville 6-0. We need to step aside. We'll be back with quarter number 2 in the annual Berry County Brawl. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here at Burl Fowler Stadium, 6-0. The Cubs lead the Wildcats here in the Berry County Brawl as we move to the second quarter. Tonight's second quarter is brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing Cassville and the surrounding area with a huge selection of diesel performance products. Phone Roark Diesel at 847-6560 or find them online at roarkdiesel.com. They're located just north of Cassville on Highway 37. Cubs facing 3rd down and 8 at their own 13. Young goes in motion. They're trying to get Cassville to jump, and now they're going to have to burn a timeout, I believe. Nope, they've got a flag. The back judge throws the flag. They didn't get the snap off in time, and the Cubs whistled for their first penalty of the night, and it'll back them up 5 yards. And now,
giving them a timeout now.
Did they get the timeout? Yep, so take away the penalty. The timeout was granted to Monett. So before they can get the first snap of quarter number 2 off, a timeout is called. The timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service to the customer. Whether it's a loan decision or the processing of your bank statement, all the decisions and services at Security Bank at Cassville are generated by their local staff in a prompt, fair, and professional manner. Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, member FDIC. So Monett's still looking for their first 3rd down conversion of the night. They're 0 for 3, facing 3rd and 8 from their own 13. Cassville staying with the 4-man front. Meeks goes wide to the right. And we've got Hildebrand out wide to the left. Josh Harvey in the backfield behind Davin Madrid and Pointer and Marcus Young, the 2 flankers. So now we're ready to go. Madrid, brings Young in motion, fakes the handoff to Harvey. He's going to run the option, keeps it himself, and takes it across the 15 out to the 17-yard line, picks up 4 yards.
A nice pursuit right there. Looked like hard to get a number here, but Schellenberger finished the play with authority. Nice job right there again, once again, by this Wildcat defense. They're playing very well tonight, Sammy.
So that's going to bring up another 4th down facing the Cubs, and they're going to kick it away inside their own 20-yard line as Jake Hoyt set to boot it into the air. Hernandez back at midfield. This time Hoyt, with the wind at his back, gets a little better leg into it and drives it over the head of Hernandez, and then it takes a Cub roll back to the 35-yard line. Hernandez picks it up, and he will not make it back to the 40 as the Cubs cover it well, as it had been a couple of high kicks from Hoyt, but that time with the wind at his back, he kicked more of a line drive and let the wind catch a hold of it and ends up kind of flipping the field a little bit there.
Well, in this Monett punt formation, the punter's not very deep. The Wildcats nearly got to the football. He's only I don't know, he may be 11 yards deep, maybe 12. Typically, you'll see your punter about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage waiting on that snap. The Wildcats coming right up the middle, nearly got a hand on that punt.
Ends up being a 46-yard kick. And the Wildcats with possession. Bodie Rose hands it off. And Trey Wilson trying to take it through a hole there off the left side. And the Cubs plug the hole and dropping for no gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Well, these Cub linebackers are doing a nice job of stepping in and filling as the Wildcat ball carriers are getting through that line of scrimmage. The initial push by the offensive line is clearing a little lane there, but these linebackers of the Cubs are doing a nice job of reading the play and stepping in and filling those holes.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats. Twin receivers go wide to the left. They split the backfield behind Bodie Rose. Rose gives it straight up the middle. Good surge that time by the interior of the Cassville line, and the ball carrier was Bryson Jacobson, and he takes it out to the 41 and picks up 4 yards.
And the Wildcats want to run the football, certainly, and they're just trying to pound on this Cub defensive front, just trying to wear them down a little bit, and in the hopes that this running game takes over as we progress.
And guess what? We've got 3rd down again. Between the two teams, we've already had 9 third downs here in the first quarter and a piece. Bodie Rose throws it out and trying to get it to Wilson, and the pass is incomplete. And it'll bring up 4th down, and the Cubs punting unit will come in.
And Rose really checking those underneath routes. The previous series, he had Hernandez who had gotten loose in the secondary. This time, Kenyon King had gotten down and was well behind the secondary. And that's something that these coaches are looking at, and we'll probably see Rose looking down the field a little more as we progress in this game.
Hernandez kicking into the wind gets a nice roll of about 15 yards after it hits the ground. Marcus Young had to scamper away from it, and the ball rolls all the way back to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Cubs will take over possession. Monett leading 6-0 with 9:45 left to go here in the first half.
Yeah, both of these defenses have been stellar tonight. Really very stingy, giving up anything in the run game. Where both defenses have been gashed a little bit is in the passing game. But 6-0 football game here in the second quarter, and both of these defenses very difficult.
So the Cubs take over, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Madrid pitches the ball back to Young. Young trying to get a block on the edge, and it's not there as Cassville does a super job getting to the ball carrier. And we've been seeing that time after time here in the first half. Wildcat defenders coming to the Cubs ball carrier in waves.
Hey, right there, Jake Anthony's comes up, takes on the blocker. The wide receiver's trying to block him. He takes him on, head up. His eyes are up. He sees the ball carrier. He's able to shuck the blocker and get in and make the tackle. Really nice job out of your secondary.
Pickup of 2 by Young. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Cubs. As the wind is starting to pick up again here at Burl Fowler Stadium. Madrid running the options, going to keep it himself, lowers his shoulder and takes on Bryson Jacobson and picks up an extra couple of yards. He's still going to come up short of the 1st down, though, but it makes it more manageable here on 3rd down. 3rd down and about 2.
Yeah, option game again. Madrid coming around the edge. Jacobson, the linebacker, stepped up and met him. He still has the football and his pitch back. So as a linebacker, you got to make a decision. You got to get one of them. He goes straight ahead and gets the ball carrier.
So 3rd and 2 for the Cubs. Cassville showing blitz. Here they come up the middle, and the Cubs pick up the 1st down as they scamper across the 30 and out to the 34-yard line. Jake Hoyt gets his first carry of the night, and he will move the chains for Monett.
A pretty nice run there by Hoyt, with the vision of the run standing out as the Wildcats, both linebackers had stepped up on either side of the nose guard right there, really filling the holes on the interior. Hoyt just kind of slid down the line of scrimmage with the football, found a seam, got just enough for the 1st down.
1st and 10, Monett at their own 34. They lead at 6-0. Pointer goes in motion. Madrid going to run the option with Pointer. There's room around the right end, and Madrid's got a 1st down as he takes it across the 40, out across the 45, finally tripped up at the 46-yard line.
Once again, option game right there. Madrid doesn't appear to really dazzle you with blazing speed. He's a thick quarterback. He's going to run with some power, but he did a nice job running in the option game right there. Got some good blocking out front, allowed him to turn the corner and pick up those yardage.
Moves it out to the Monett 46-yard line, 1st and 10 Cubs. And Madrid this time with a quarterback keeper. Right up the middle he goes, across midfield into Cassville territory, down to the Wildcat 49 as he is able to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, sometimes you catch a defense on their heels a little bit or sleeping, and the quarterback will come up. Sometimes that's not even a called play. It's the center and quarterback. If they see something, sometimes they'll do that. And if, you know what, on first down, if you can quarterback sneak for 5 yards, hey, knock yourself out.
That's right. 5 yards on first down. Coaches will take it every time, that's for sure. So 2nd down and 5 for the Cubs. The ball on the Cassville side of the 50 now. Madrid taking his time, and he wanted to give it to Harvey and then kept it. Looked like he wanted to run the option with Marcus Young, but good job by Schellenberger and Ewing to get out there and cover the pitch man, so Madrid had to keep it himself, and no gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, the fullback, first man through, was met in the hole and sort of in the backfield, so as Madrid trying to run that, it was really kind of blown up from the get-go, and just a pile of bodies right there. Lamborn in the way as well, and again, he's had a nice game so far.
And guess what? 3rd down again. We've had more than our share of 3rd down conversion attempts here in the first half. Madrid fakes the handoff, breaks the tackle at the 45, and he's into the open. He's got one man to beat. He's at the 10-5, touchdown Cubs.
Found his way through the traffic, running that little option this time around the left edge. Was bottled up, lots of bodies, lots of purple and white jerseys in there, and somehow Madrid squirts out the other side into the secondary and races his way to the end zone.
A 49-yard touchdown run by Davin Madrid, and that adds to the Monett lead. They now lead at 12-0 with 6:11 left to go in the first half. And the Cubs are lining up to go for 2. They had went for 2 the first time and failed. Nope, now they're sending Eric Chavez out there. So they are going to try to kick the extra point. They were just needing the tee, and they're going to have to hurry. They got the play clock down to 3. A high snap. It's down on the tee. The kick is up and good by Chavez. Nice job there by Marcus Young, as it was a high snap, but he was able to get it and get it set on the tee, and Chavez put it through the uprights. And with 6:11 left to go in the first half, Monett now leads 13-0 here in the Berry County Brawl.
Yeah, patient play calling by the Cubs eventually paid off. Running the football, a lot of 3rd downs. They run it once again, lots of congestion in there. Madrid trying to go around the left edge somehow. And again, we talked a little bit about his body type. He's thick, strong, nearly 200 pounds, and somehow he's able to fight through that mass of bodies and pop out. And everyone was up on the line of scrimmage. There was nobody in the secondary back there. Everyone's playing the run, and once he got through that line of scrimmage, it was hard to catch him.
Halfway through tonight's second quarter, it's brought to you by Roark Diesel. You can find them online at roarkdiesel.com, or they're just north of Cassville on Highway 37. They're the leader in the region for diesel performance. If your engine's not just running right, take it to Roark Diesel Performance. They specialize in diesel performance. Now we got Chavez in there kicking the ball, so he will boot it away with the wind at his back. Kicks this one high in the air and drives Wilson all the way back to his 5-yard line. Trey Wilson trying to reverse his field, trying to get away from a wave of Cub defenders, and he will not be able to elude them all. He's dropped back at his own 10, maybe 11-yard line, so the Wildcats going to start deep in their own territory.
And Wilson ran a long way with that football, trying to get to the corner, and the Cubs discipline in their coverage right there, stayed in their lanes down the field. Wilson was not able to make it to the edge and brought down.
They will spot him down at the 11, 1st and 10 Cassville. Monett leading 13-0. The Wildcats have 2 turnovers and have been forced to punt their last 2 possessions. They swing a receiver out to the left side, the wide side of the field, and Rose is going to run that direction. A couple of blockers in front of him, and he will not be able to get to the edge as he is dropped back at the 10 for a loss of 1. As Marcus Young coming up to make the stop.
Wildcat offense having difficulty figuring out this Cub defense. And
there's a flag thrown at the 15. We'll see what that's about. That was about 5 yards downfield. And with a running play going that direction, it's kind of in a bad spot for the Wildcats. Could be an illegal block down there, but we'll see. And it is a chop block against the Wildcats.
And the Wildcats just not able to get out of their own way right now and pin deep in their own territory. And just really don't have an answer for this Cub defense right now. Between the tackles, trying to get to the edge. The Cubs are covering up very well. Had a little success in the first quarter throwing the football on some out routes. But overall, just really struggling trying to solve this Cub defense at this point.
And that has kind of been the bread and the butter for the Cubs throughout the seasons, their defense. They've set the tone most of the time. Their offense has kind of been here and there, but it's their defense that's been pretty consistent every Friday night, and they've come out playing well here in the first half tonight. So they back him up to the 7. Rose looking to throw, and the pass is a bit underthrown, and is it another interception? Yes, Connor Pointer steps in front of Trey Wilson and picks it off at the Cassville 25-yard line.
The Wildcats have tried 2 wheel routes tonight. One with the quarterback, you don't see it very often. This time a little more traditional, little play action, rolling to his right. Wilson sneaking out on the backside to the left, trying to get down that Wildcat sideline. And once again, the Cub defender not falling for the play action and the ball faking. He's staying right with the Wildcat wide receiver, and another big-time interception for this Cub defense.
So Monett will take over at the Cassville 25. They pitch it to Young, who in turn pitches it back into the hands of Hildebrand. Hildebrand trying to weave his way through traffic, gets inside the 20, down to the 15, and then is driven out of bounds, and we got flags flying in from all over the place.
Yeah, Cubs trying to set up a double reverse pass right there with Hildebrand as they had a receiver downfield. Covered well in the secondary, but Hildebrand used that speed, was able to juke and get to the Wildcat sideline. And we'll see. I don't know if you're looking at a face mask of some sorts out here. Looked like he was grabbed kind of funny over on that sideline, but we'll see what the officials say. They're a long way from me right now.
Yes, they are. 3 of the 5 having a little powwow over on the far sideline. Now the referee comes out and says personal foul.
Horse collar.
Horse collar against the Wildcats. And the flag is thrown at the 11. So that's going to mark it half the distance to the goal, and it'll be 1st and goal Monett.
Yeah, there was. I could tell something was a little funny with the tackle all the way across on that sideline, whether face mask or horse collar. Nonetheless, going to give the Cubs some extra yardage right here, and the Wildcat defense have their backs against the wall.
1st and goal for the Cubs.
So it'll be 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
1st and goal at the Cassville 7-yard line.
Monett resets things around to the right side. They go unbalanced that direction. That's the short side of the field. Madrid takes the snap, gives it up the middle. And the ball carrier plunges down inside the 5 to the 4, picks up 3 yards.
Yeah, trying to overload on the right side right there and run right in behind it. Wildcats do come up with a stop, but the ball now rests right around that 4-yard line.
Connor Pointer on the carry. Takes it down to the 4, so it'll be 2nd and goal from there. 4:50 left to go here in the first half. Monett leading 13-0, and they're knocking on the door once again. Madrid goes unbalanced left this time, and they pitch the ball back to Harvey. Harvey with a couple of blockers in front. Ducks his head and drives down to the 1-yard line, and it'll be 3rd and goal for the Cubs from the 1.
3rd down.
Cubs patiently working their way closer to that goal line. Big 3rd down right here for the Wildcats.
We've got Pointer and Jake Hoyt in the backfield. Madrid's going to keep it himself, though, and just goes off right tackle and takes it in for the score.
Madrid is having a pretty nice football game tonight. He's got one passing touchdown now, his second rushing touchdown of the half.
And 82 yards rushing here in the first half for Davin Madrid, the Monett quarterback. Chavez in to attempt the PAT. The snap is back. The kick is up, and it is good. And we've got another penalty flag. And this goes back to what you were talking about in the pregame, keeping your emotions under control. And we've got a roughing the kicker called against Cassville. And I'm assuming that will be marked off on the kickoff? Yeah, they can choose whether they – it's only a 5-yarder, so right now Coach Ethan Lewis out visiting with the referee about what exactly he wants to do. But with 4:11 left to go here in the first half, Monett now leads 20-0 over the Wildcats.
It's a rough start to this football game for the Wildcats. First two possessions, fumble, interception. And really since then they've had a little success, not a lot, moving the ball down the field. Monett, you got to give credit to the Cub defense. They've played very well tonight as well.
Cassville's had a 9-play drive and a 7-play drive,
Yeah.
but the other drives have all been short. Of course, 2 of them have ended in turnovers,
Right.
And it looks like they are going to assess the penalty on the kickoff, so Chavez will be kicking off from the 45 instead of the 40.
Assessed against the defense.
And it will send Trey Wilson and Hernan Hernandez back to their own 5-yard line, awaiting the kickoff of Chavez. With the wind at his back, it's let up just a little, but not a whole lot as we played along here in the first half. Chavez boots this one away and drives it right down the middle of the field, and it will take Hernan Hernandez back into the end zone for a touchback.
Touchback, no return on the kick.
Well, you've got a 20-0 football game right now. Just over 4 minutes until halftime. Wildcats have the football. They won the coin flip, deferred. They will get the football coming out after half. Right here, right now, is where the Wildcats need to put something together, get points on the board heading into halftime. Then they have an opportunity to cut in once again immediately following half. So, very important drive in the game for the Wildcats.
Bodie Rose pitches the ball to Trey Wilson. Wilson does a nice job getting away from the first contact and takes it out to the 25-yard line, but another flag in the Cassville backfield back at the 19. And it's going to be a holding call, takes away the 5-yard pickup by Trey Wilson. And yeah, you're exactly right. I ventured over to Pierce City last night. They were hosting Stockton, and the exact same scenario happened over there. Pierce City was trailing 21-0 late in the first half. They scored with about a minute to go before halftime, got the ball to start the second half, scored again. Suddenly it was a brand new ball game, and Pierce City came back and won that game by 6.
You know, anything can happen, but you got to clean. You can't have penalties or turnovers in the next 4 minutes of this football game. You've got to find a way to get down here and get that goose egg off the board heading into half.
So it will move the ball back to the 9, and it'll be first down and about 22 to go for the Wildcats. Rose keeps it himself and has nowhere to go as he is dropped for no gain, and it'll bring up second down.
Strange play right there. It was kind of shielded by some of the players. Couldn't really see what happened. Don't know if Rose got the snap cleanly right there, but just kind of the way he took off behind center, kind of right down that line of scrimmage, is just a strange-looking offensive play there.
So second down in a bundle now for Cassville. The ball at their own 9-yard line. 3:27 left to go here in the first half. Monett leading 20-0. Split backfield behind Rose. Straight drop, throws across, and the ball is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Garrett Ewing. It falls incomplete, and it'll bring up third down.
Ewing going up in the air trying to receive that football, took a pretty good shot as the ball arrived. Cub defenders help him off the turf. He's a little slow getting back to the huddle.
So third down, and Cassville has to get all the way out to the 30-yard line to pick up a first down. And it looks like the Wildcats call a timeout. Coach Clay Weldy over visiting with the side judge about something. Timeout on the field, brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. At Security Bank, you sit across from a neighbor and a decision maker. Security Bank has all the newest banking features with the same hometown service. They're located in Cassville, Wheaton, and Exeter. Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, member FDIC. 3:14 now left to go in the half. Cassville trailing Monett 20-0 here in the 10th edition of the Berry County Brawl. Final night of the regular season. Next week, both Cassville and Monett move on to district play. Monett in Class 4, Cassville in Class 3. As everyone resets, starts over at 0-0, and the postseason begins a week from tonight.
Interesting what's going on the field right now is head coach, Coach Weldy, for the Wildcats, initially went, after he called the timeout, he went to the side judge. Now he's worked his way to the white hat official, and they're still talking. They've talked through the entire timeout.
You know, both teams have broken huddle and headed back out on the field, and the referee now leaves Coach Weldy. He's having a last-second chat with one of his players there. Looks like Ewing. It's 3rd down and 21.
When's the last time you've seen a perfectly executed hook and ladder play?
The Wildcats have been able to pull that little bag out of their bag of tricks. So Canyon King over here. And the Wildcats are going to run the football. And Trey Wilson powers his way out to the 13. Picks up 4 yards, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Wildcats with a conservative call there on 3rd down, deep in their own territory. They've got a good punt unit with Hernandez booting the football. The clock continuing to run, around 2 minutes and 40 seconds here.
He will be kicking into the wind, which is picked up a little again. Marcus Young back at midfield awaiting the kick. Hernandez gets a pretty good leg into this one, drives Young back to the 50-yard line, and then Cassville all over the return man, and they bring him down right there.
Nice coverage. Once again, nice high punt by Hernandez right at midfield, and 3 Wildcat coverage players downfield to bring the ball carrier down. Really nice job.
37-yard kick, no return. 1st and 10 for the Cubs at the 50-yard line. Monett leading 20-0 here with 2.5 left to go before halftime. Meeks goes wide to the right, and we've got Hildebrand wide to the left. They come unbalanced to the left as well. They bring Young in motion. Now he resets and goes back around to the right side. Lines up in the slot. Madrid takes a quick peek at the defense. Now he brings Young in motion again. Fakes the handoff up the middle. Madrid going to keep it himself. Backs his way down to the 48-yard line for a gain of 2.
Nice job there. DJ Glidewell scraping down that line of scrimmage, bringing the Cub quarterback to the ground.
So 2nd down and 8 facing the Cubs at the Cassville 48-yard line. Clock continuing to roll as we near 2 minutes left to go before halftime. Again, they come unbalanced to the short side of the field. Young in motion. Madrid looking to throw, fires it into traffic and hits somebody in the helmet or in the shoulder pads as he was trying to force one about 5 or 6 yards over the left side, and there were a lot of bodies out there, Cassville and Monett players, and the ball never made it through.
Looked like Canyon King, linebacker for the Wildcats, read the play nicely, was able to get his hands up and bat the ball out of the air. So that stops the clock with 1:54 to go. 3rd and long for the Cubs. Wildcats potentially could get this football back with a stop here.
Cubs don't throw the ball a lot coming into tonight. They were just 11 of 48 for 201 yards, and they've thrown it just 2 times so far here tonight. Unfortunately for Cassville, one of those passes from Josh Harvey went for a touchdown. Madrid pitches the ball back to Hoyt. Hoyt trying to get to the edge, and Cassville's defense is all over the Monett ball carrier after a gain of maybe a yard, and he's not going to get that. They spot him right back at the 48.
And the Wildcats will call a timeout here, stopping the clock with 1:46 to go in the half. I anticipate the Cubs will bring the punt team on the field here, try to force the Wildcats to go a long way in a short time.
Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They say thank you to all of their friends and customers in Southwest Missouri for over 25 wonderful years of business. Les Jacobs Ford, the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Find them online at lesjacobsford.com. And you can listen to the Wildcats on your Apple and Google phone apps, courtesy of White Funeral Home and Crematory. Let them help lighten your load. White Funeral Home and Crematory, they're always there to help in Cassville. 1:46 on the clock here in the second quarter. Monett leading 20-0. And the Cubs facing 4th down and 9. And it looks like
Wildcats have been close a couple of times to these punts, so we'll see what happens right here, see if they come after it a little bit. Nearly got to it once again.
Yeah, that was a high snap, too. By the time Hoyt grabbed it and brought it down, he had Canyon King and Garrett Ewing right in his face, but he was able to get the kick away. Hernandez fields it down at the 10, and that's where Cassville will take over.
I mean, that was close. Wildcats, again, they're lining up with King and Ewing just right at the line of scrimmage, and they are coming straight upfield. A lot of times you see blocks from the edge. They come in from the edge. Wildcats are attacking straight up the field at it, and King had that outstretched hand, nearly got a hold of that football.
But Cassville backed up at their own 10-yard line with 1:40 left to go before the half. Bodie Rose looks like wanted to hand the ball off. He finally got the handoff completed, but the ball carrier has nowhere to go. And it'll be no gain for Bryson Jacobson, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Had Cub defensive line having their way with the Wildcat offensive line in about the last 6 minutes of this football game specifically, and nowhere for these backs to go.
So we're closing in on a minute left to play before halftime. Wildcats send Hernandez and Ewing split out wide to the right. And Bodie Rose started under center, and then he pops back up, and Cassville calls for another timeout. Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. If you want mobile banking, ATMs, multiple branches, and all types of loans, and still be able to go into the lobby and see your personal banker, you just described Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, member FDIC. 20-0, Cassville trailing Monett here in the Berry County Brawl with 1:04 left to go before halftime. We invite you to stick around for the Shoemaker Tire halftime show here from Burrow Fowler Stadium this evening. It's been smothering defenses for the most part by both teams, but especially for the Cubs. They found 2 opportunities, the way to crack through Cassville's defense and get points on the board. And then, of course, after the short field they had to work with, they were able to take advantage of that as well, and they lead by 3 scores here with 64 seconds left to go before the break.
And 2 of their scores following turnovers from the Wildcats. So Wildcats, handing those gifts out there, and the Cubs taking advantage in the first half.
2nd and 10, Cassville at their own 10-yard line. And Bodie Rose, straight drop, launches one, and he's got Ewing deep, and he overthrows the intended receiver. Ewing had gotten behind the secondary. He had ran past the corner. The safety, Connor Pointer, was trying to get back to him, but neither one could run down that pass.
3rd down.
Just a little long right there. Wildcats have been close. A couple long passes to Ewing tonight. Just a little out of reach, a little out of time.
Well, Cassville, after converting 3 of their first 4 third down opportunities, they have since been 0 for 3, and now they're facing 3rd and 10 with 58 seconds remaining in the half.
3rd and 10.
Bodie Rose fakes the pass, hands it off to Wilson. Wilson's got some running room. He's across the 15, out across the 20, and is brought down at the 22, maybe the 23-yard line, and picks up a Wildcat first down. Good run by Trey Wilson and good ball faking by Bodie Rose. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. Find them on Facebook or YouTube, and then call for a free quote, 888-364-9527.
Got a nice job to give this offense some breathing room right here. Move the chains.
Now Cassville looking to throw again, and again it's Garrett Ewing, the target, but the pass falls incomplete, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
We're in the wide side of the field. This is a pass play. The Wildcats, they love to run it. It's I don't know what they call it. I call it kind of a levels play, because you have a back out of the backfield on a short route. You've got Ewing on a medium type out route, and then you've got your other wide receiver on a deep out. So there are 3 options out there for the Wildcat quarterback to choose. Majority of the time, he's had success hitting that medium route, just not this time.
So Rose, a quick drop, pump fake, and now he launches one, again looking for Ewing, and Ewing trying to battle with Marcus Young over there, and the pass falls incomplete again. Ball got caught up in the wind just a little bit. Young never turned around to find it. Ewing was trying to get back to the football, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Might have missed a pass interference right there. And you see that happen a lot. If the ball is underthrown and the receiver has to stop and try to come back to it, and the defender never turns and finds the football, they run right into the receiver. Appeared to happen out there, and the official just blew it incomplete.
So 3rd and 10, Cassville. 24 seconds left before half. Bodie Rose with another fake pass, gives it off to Wilson. Big hole up the middle. He's across the 30 and then is driven back as he gets to the 31-yard line. But another good run by Trey Wilson. It's going to come up just short of the 1st down as Connor Pointer brings him down. Looks like they're going to spot him at the 32 after a gain of 9.
And that's going to take us to halftime.
Yep, they will not be able to run another play before the final seconds tick away. So we have reached intermission here at Burrow Fowler Stadium as they head to the locker room. The Monett Cubs leading the Cassville Wildcats 20-0 here in the Berry County Brawl. We'll step aside and then be back with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. We have reached halftime here at Burl Fowler Stadium of the annual Berry County Brawl between Monett and Cassville. The Cubs lead the Wildcats 20-0 here at the break, and it's time for tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. They're family-owned and operated, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. They've been serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. Looking at the scoring from the first half, 9:33 left to go in quarter number one after a Cassville turnover. The Cassville Wildcats had Monett set up with short field, and the Cubs took advantage. A 30-yard pass from Josh Harvey to Ian Hildebrand, and the Cubs were on the board leading 6-0 after the two-point conversion attempt failed. And then with 6:11 left to go in the first half, a 49-yard run by Davin Madrid gave the Cubs a 13-0 lead, and then Monett closes out the scoring with 4:11 left to go in the first half on a 1-yard run by Madrid, and Monett with the 20-0 lead here at the break.
Wildcat offense just have had no answer up to this point for this Cub defense. They've done an outstanding job scouting the Wildcats and really shutting them down tonight. So Wildcats have their work cut out for them here at halftime. Go in and talk about what they're seeing, what the players are seeing on the field, what the coaches are seeing up on top of the press box tonight, and try to make some adjustments and get something going in the second half. The Cubs put 20 on in a half. There's no reason the Wildcats can't put 20 on in a half as well.
Looking at other scores around the Big Eight, late in the first half, Rogersville leads at home over Aurora 7-0. Mount Vernon at halftime has a 20-7 lead over Reed Spring, and that's for the Big Eight East title. At Seneca, Nevada leading the Indians 21-14 at halftime. Seneca trying to stay unbeaten during the season. Lamar has a 21-0 lead over Hollister down in Taney County, and that game late in the first half. Also a late first half score, McDonald County at home has a 32-7 lead over East Newton. And the last score we got from Springfield Catholic between the Blue Jays and the Fighting Irish, it was a scoreless game about midway through the first half of play. Looking at some district opponents possibly for Cassville, Osage has a 42-0 lead over Versailles, and Buffalo and Warsaw are scoreless so far in their game.
Yeah, Buffalo, Warsaw, Marshfield Catholic, I don't know that they've started updating scores at all. So who knows what the scores are from those games right now. Sometimes they just don't come through for me.
And sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes we're in the second half before they start showing some of those updates. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we roll through tonight. 20-0, Monett leads over Cassville here at the break in the annual Berry County Brawl. Cassville has won 5 Berry County Brawl trophies in a row, but now the Cubs have the advantage here at halftime, looking to take the trophy back. Cassville will try to regroup and get things going in the second half to retain possession of that Berry County Brawl trophy. Monett Marching Band here on senior night, entertaining the crowd here at the break. We'll step aside as well, let you hear some more from our sponsors from tonight's broadcast, and then be back with the first half stats. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Burl Fowler Stadium, we are at halftime. The Monett Cubs leading the Cassville Wildcats 20-0. We continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, people you can trust for tires. Visit them online at shoemakertire.com. Give them a call at 417-271-3490 or drop by Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Your Wildcat broadcast team brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville, your choice for genuine Ford service and parts at very affordable rates. They're your go-to shop for auto repair. Les Jacobs Ford. Find them online at lesjacobsford.com. or drop by 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Looking at the first half numbers for Monett, 21 rushes, 103 yards on the ground. They completed 1 of 2 passes for 30 yards for a total of 130 yards of offense. Cubs with 5 first downs. They did not turn the ball over. They were penalized once for 5 yards and punted 4 times for a 34.5-yard average. Cassville held to just 49 yards rushing on 13 carries. They completed 3 of 13 passes for 27 yards for a total of 76 yards of offense. They picked up 5 first downs, but they turned it over 3 times, 2 interceptions and 1 fumble. They were penalized 6 times for 43 yards, and they punted 3 times for a 36-yard average. So yardage-wise, neither team just dominating things, but the difference right now is those 3 turnovers and those 6 penalties that Cassville has been dealt in the first 2 quarters. Looking at some of the individual numbers, Davin Madrid had himself a first half, 84 yards rushing on 10 carries and a couple of touchdowns. The next leading ball carrier was Jake Hoyt, and he's got only 6 yards. Ian Hildebrand has a touchdown reception that went for 30 yards. For the Wildcats, they were led by Trey Wilson, 40 yards rushing on 9 carries. Garrett Ewing has 3 catches for 27 yards in the first half.
You can talk about defense. There's not a lot to talk about offensively in this football game if you're a Wildcat fan. And again, as we talked about earlier, you get in at halftime, you go and you talk about things. What are you seeing on the field? What are these coaches seeing up top? And you work on adjustments. You work on things this coaching staff does a very nice job of making adjustments coming out in the second half of football game. So we'll see what happens here. Defensively, I feel like the Wildcats have played well enough to be in this game. They just absolutely have to get something going on the offensive side of the ball.
Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert is your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more online at MedicareDoneRight.net. We continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, over 50 years of taking care of their customers like no one else. Call Shoemaker Tire at 417-271-3490. 20-0. The Cubs lead the Wildcats here at halftime of the Berry County Brawl. We'll step aside one more time and be back with more. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Burl Fowler Stadium in Monett. The Cubs lead the Cassville Wildcats 20-0 as we are here at halftime. Tonight's halftime brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. They've been a name you can count on for tires since 1961. Mark and the gang will have you up and running when you need a new set in no time flat or when you just have no time for a flat. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Well, at halftime, to throw in a little more competition between Cassville and Monett, the superintendents for the Cassville School District and the Monett School District decided to have a little punt, pass, and kick competition at halftime. Dr. Mark Drake from Monett, Dr. Merlin Johnson from Cassville got out on the field, and they threw a pass, punted the ball, and then kicked off the tee, and they tabulated the yardages and the distances, and I think they just announced that Monett's Dr. Mark Drake came away just barely by a yard over Dr. Merlin Johnson. So a little side competition besides the football game, the two superintendents getting in on the act as well, and it was fun for all the folks in attendance here tonight.
You know, I think the home field advantage definitely played into Dr. Drake's favor out there. You know, Cassville does not have turf, so Dr. Johnson was not able to practice kicking off of turf. So, yeah, home field advantage. 1 yard, that's hard to stomach if you're Dr. Johnson right now. But I think both of them are relieved that it's over.
And nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt, and it's all in good fun, and it just brings something else to this football game. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, because Ken Gasper, the PA announcer here at Burl Fowler Stadium, was telling the two sports medicine trainers for Monett and for Cassville to be ready just in case, but neither one had to go out and clean anything up out there on the field, so that was good news all the way around.
All hamstrings appear to be intact.
Yes, they do. Well, both teams are back out of the locker room going through their warm-ups as we get set to start the second half. We'll take one more time out, let you hear from our sponsors of tonight's broadcast, and then be back with the third quarter. Here at halftime, Monett leads Cassville 20-0, and that's going to conclude the Shoemaker Tire halftime show, Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. We'll step aside, be back with the third quarter. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Burl Fowler Stadium, ready to go here in the second half. Monett leading Cassville 20-0 here in the annual Berry County Brawl. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where they specialize in new, used, and custom-built pallets. They're backing the Wildcats all the way. And God We Trust is their motto at J&M Pallet Company. Phone 847-6732. Cassville's going to get the football to start the second half. And it looks like Porter Reed is back out there to kick it away. Cassville will be going into the wind here in the third quarter. That means they will have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. Well, they were not able to get points on the board late in the first half, so now they need to try to get some points on the board here to start the second half and cut into the Monett lead. It's a short kick fielded at the 25 as it's scooped up by Jake Anthony's, and he's going to try to get to the Cassville sideline. Got tripped up, and his knee went to the ground, just barely skimmed the turf, but it was enough for the whistles to blow. And the Wildcats will have it at their own 35-yard line. And I'm trying to see who was that. Was it 86? It was 86 for the Cubs. Marco Salas that tripped up Anthony. So 1st and 10 Cassville at their own 35. On first down, the Wildcats running the football. They got Jacobson leading the way for Wilson. Big hole around the right end. He's across the 45, across the 50, into Monett territory, but a flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage. Wilson rumbles for 20 yards, but this one may be coming back.
Nice big run to start the second half. We'll see what this is, but I think you're right. A holding call, more than likely, going to take it away and some. And that has plagued the Wildcats the entire first half. This being the 7th penalty of the football game tonight for the Wildcats.
For a total of 53 yards, and yeah, it wipes out the entire 20-yard gain. Actually, it was 21 yards by Wilson because the flag was thrown about a half a yard behind the line of scrimmage. And it's going to move the football all the way back inside the 25-yard line.
You just can't keep shooting yourself in the foot, Sammy. The Wildcats, they can get back in this game. They need an early and a quick score here in the third, and they can get right back in it.
Split backfield behind Bodie Rose, and he gives the ball to Jacobson. Jacobson with a nice cutback, and he quickly races out to the 30-yard line, dropped down after a gain of 6, saw a little opening, cut back to his right, and picked up 6 yards.
A good hard run there by Jacobson, working his way left side.
So second down and about 15 to go now for Cassville at their own 30, just underway here in the second half. Early on in the third quarter, Monett leading 20-0 here in the annual Berry County Brawl. Twin receivers to the right. Cassville going to run away from those receivers. Bodie Rose turns the corner, takes it out to the 35-yard line, and is dropped as he gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. So the Wildcats have got the penalty back, but now they face third down and about 9 yards to go.
The Wildcats have the quarterback sweep as a staple in their offense, with Rose taking the snap, heading around one way or the other, and following a couple lead backs. Cubs have defended it well tonight.
Cassville just 3 of 8 on third down conversion tries in the first half. They throw underneath, and the ball goes off the fingertips of Garrett Ewing. And that will bring up fourth down. And Ewing may have jammed a finger, and that would not be good news for the Wildcats if that's the case.
Yeah, he's that left hand appears to be uncomfortable for him right now, heading over the sideline as the punt team for the Wildcats takes the field.
Hernandez in to kick it away into the wind. Marcus Young dropping back at his own 40-yard line. So after a big run by Trey Wilson that was taken away by a penalty, the Wildcats could not pick up a first down. Hernandez gets a nice leg into this one, sails it over the head of Young, but it takes a Monett bounce as it checks up back at the 28-yard line, and that's where Monett will get possession of the football.
Don't see that very often on a line drive punt like that. Checked up and kind of stayed right where it was. Wildcats hoping to get a little roll out of the punt. Nice strong punt into the wind by Hernandez, but he got no favors from this turf that time.
37-yard kick, no return. Monett football. They lead it 20-0 here. They'll have it at their own 28-yard line. First possession of the second half by the Cubs. Tonight's third quarter, again, brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. Their motto's In God We Trust. Phone J&M Pallet Company, 847-6732. That's 847-6732. The Put the play clock in motion. The Cubs up to the line of scrimmage. Cassville coming with a four-man front. Davin Madrid up under center. He brings Marcus Young in motion, and he pitches the ball to Young, and Young has nowhere to go. Good job by Garrett Ewing reading the play and coming up into the Cubs' backfield. Young is able to fight back to the 28, but that's going to be it. No gain on the play.
You know, Sammy, sometimes when your offense is struggling, it takes a big play in the special teams or a defensive play to really kind of get things going for you. Wildcats are probably looking to be opportunistic here on the defensive side of the football, force a turnover, give themselves short field.
2nd down and 10, Monett. Young again in motion. They run the option to the short side. Madrid keeps the ball and takes it out to the 31, gains 3 yards. Davin Madrid, the quarterback for Monett, the leading ball carrier tonight. With that first carry of the second half, he now has 87 yards unofficially on 11 carries.
Gain of 3 yards on the play. 3rd and 7 for the Cubs.
He's also got a couple of rushing touchdowns tonight for Monett. 3rd down and we'll call it a long 7. Monett just 1 of 8 on 3rd down conversion tries back in the first half. Madrid throws down the line. The pass is caught on the short side by Ian Hildebrand, trying to sneak up the Cubs sideline, and good job by the Cassville defense to stop him at the 35, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Hildebrand very quick, runs well, track athlete. Nice job there by Anthony's to force him out of bounds right in front of the Cubs bench. Wildcats going to get the football back here. Again, we talk about a big play defensively, but maybe even something on special teams could be the key to get the Wildcats rolling.
Hernandez and Ewing back to await the kick of Hoyt. A high kick and fielded by Hernandez back at his own 32. He's got some running room if he can get to the Cassville sideline, and he takes it across the 50 and is knocked out of bounds at the Monett 49.
Yeah, really nice. He caught a block out there. Also nice stiff arm working his way to the Wildcat sideline. Nice return right there by Ewing, giving the Wildcats a football in Monett territory to start this drive.
A 32-yard kick, but it looks like we've got, let's see, 15, an 18-yard return, and it's 1st and 10 Cassville at the Monett 48. 8:50 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Monett leading 20-0. Wildcats running the football, and Bryson Jacobson gets the call. He is hit once, twice, and 3 times, hangs on to the football and picks up about 2.5 yards, just shy of the 45.
Yeah, these Wildcat ball carriers have earned it tonight. They are taking some pretty good shots from this Cub linebacking core.
So 2nd down and long facing Cassville. 20-0 Monett with a little over 8 minutes left to go, 3rd quarter. Double tight, double wing, and they bring Wilson in motion. Rose rolling, pressure coming from the backside. He's got Ewing open at the 25. The catch is made, and a 1st down inside the 20. Finally tonight, that connection has proved and picked up big yardage, as they've had that a few times this evening, been unable to make the connection, but that time Rose finds Ewing down to the 20.
A really nice job by Rose to hang in there and throw that football. He had pressure breathing down his neck, took some contact after he released the football. Nice job out there by Ewing to make the catch, hit the turf hard on the tackle, but a big play offensively. May get something going right here. The Wildcats at the Cub 20-yard line.
Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in color selection. Check their gallery online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. A gain of 26. Rose is looking to run as he takes it to the short side, sneaks down to about the 17-yard line, picks up about 3 yards. Or will he get the 17? Nope, they say his knee touched at the 18, so it's a gain of only 2 for Bodie Rose.
Wildcats desperately needing to score right here to fight their way back into this football game. 20-0. Just over 7 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Hernandez goes wide to the left. Hadlow comes out wide to the right. They send Ewing in motion. Rose rolling to his left, throws underneath the Ewing. The catch is made at the 15, and he is quickly taken down for a short gain, but it turns it into a much more manageable third down situation down around the 13-yard line.
Ewing again getting up a little slow off the turf. He's been involved a lot in this offense tonight. Receiving the football, he's played well defensively as well in special teams. Just saw a nice punt return out of him. He's going to feel this game in the morning too.
So 3rd down and 3 for Cassville at the Monett 13. Rose up under center, and Monett jumps. Flags come flying out, and that may have just given the Wildcats the first down. We'll see to make sure as the linesmen come in, talk to the referee, and they do say encroachment on the defense. Only 2nd flag of the night against Monett, but it's going to give Cassville a first down. Wildcat First Down brought to you by Superior Metal, their first in custom ag buildings. You can find them on Facebook and YouTube, and then call for a free quote, 888-364-9527.
A cheap first down right there. Wildcats go on a hard count. Cubs jump. The Wildcats will take it all day long. Once again, knocking on the door to the end zone.
So 1st and goal from the 8. This has been the deepest penetration of the night by the Wildcat offense. Bodie Rose gives the ball to Wilson. Wilson sneaks in behind Jacobson and takes it down to the 6-yard line, picks up 2.
I tell you, running lanes have been tough tonight. Wildcats keep fighting, keep pounding up there along that line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down and goal from just outside the 6. 5:40 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Monett leading 20-0. Cassville trying to get the goose egg off the scoreboard here. Midway through quarter number 3. Riley Roark goes wide to the left. Hadlow comes out wide to the right. That's normally your tight ends, but they're split as wideouts, and here goes Bodie Rose. Gets a block from Jacobson, tries to cut it back inside, and is going to be swarmed under. And he is not going to gain any yardage, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Diego Biden with the tackle. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, tough play. Just great pursuit by this Cub defense. They fly to the football. Wildcats again trying to find a solution to this defense.
Cassville well within Peter Littlefield's field goal range, but they want 6, and they need 6 right now, over halfway through the 3rd. 3rd and goal, high snap. Rose brings it down, looks to the end zone, and the pass is caught at the 3, and then he's brought down quickly by Pointer, and that was Trey Wilson, and Pointer keeps him out of the end zone.
We'll see what the Wildcats choose to do right here. They're going to keep the offense, as you said. They need 6. 3's not going to do them a lot of good at this point in a football game. You need touchdowns, and that's what the Wildcats are working for right now.
So here we go, 4th down and goal from the 3. With 4:12 left to go in the 3rd quarter, Cassville trailing 20-0. They go with the Rhino package, full house backfield. Jacobson, Wilson, and Anthony's. Rose is going to keep it, makes a cutback, dives to the end zone. Did he break the plane? And no, he did not. They're going to down him at the 1.5-yard line, and the Cubs defense holds.
Wildcats usually have success with the big package out there, the full house. Rose taking the snap, quarterback sweep following 3 lead backs, a big offensive line. The Cubs scrape right down that line of scrimmage, meet Rose right at the 1, and drop him. Big-time defensive play right there.
Cassville held it for 5 minutes and 9 plays, but they're stopped between the 1 and the 2-yard line. Now Monett has to be very careful and take control of the football inside their own 5.
1st and 10 at the Monett 2-yard line.
Davin Madrid up under center. Hands the ball off, and the ball carrier surges ahead, maybe to the 3, as Josh Harvey, the big fullback, gets the call. Picks up a yard, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
This Wildcat defense has made running the ball tough on the Cubs as well. They did have the 1 long run in the first half for the score, but other than that, been very stingy against the running game.
Harvey, a big guy back there at 215 pounds, but the Wildcats were able to bring him down after a short gain. Everyone in tight In fact, all 22 players are only separated by about 7 or 8 yards. As the Cubs look to run the ball again, and this time the ball carrier was Madrid, and he is hit, but was he outside the end zone? They say yes, he was. Cassville spun him back into the end zone, and we're hoping to get a safety, but they said Madrid was able to fight back to the line of scrimmage before he was spun back away, and it'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Wow, pretty big-time defensive play right there. And they gave him a generous spot to get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it didn't really, and we're at a bad angle, but it didn't really look like a safety, but it also didn't look like he got back to the 3.
No, somewhere in between the two, I believe.
So 3rd and 9. Now Monett having a little difficulty getting their offense set up as a couple of players were out of position, and it forces the Cubs to use a timeout. So with 2:24 left to go here in the 3rd, Monett stops the clock. They lead it 20-0. The timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. Everyone has debit cards, ATMs, mobile banking, but at Security Bank of Cassville, Wheaton, and Exeter, you sit across from a neighbor and a decision maker. They have all the newest banking features with the same hometown service. Security Bank, member FDIC. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by Berry County Health Department. Their environmental services offers testing of private water well. You can bring your test in or pick up a test kit at their office, 65 Main Street in Cassville. Testing is offered Monday through Wednesday. Call 847-2114. That's 847-2114 for more information. Well, it was 20-0 at halftime, and we played 10 of the 12 minutes here in the 3rd quarter, and it's still 20-0. Monett with the lead. Got some other scores around the Big 8. Rogersville has extended their lead, 31-0 over Aurora. Mount Vernon leads Reed Spring 20-7. Nevada on top of Seneca 42-14. So the Indians looking to lose for the first time this year. On 3rd and 9, Cassville's defense rises to the occasion once again. Lamborn along with Glidewell. And again, they're hoping for a safety. They do lose yardage back to the 1, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Wow, back-to-back big-time plays by this Wildcat defensive line. Very close to a safety there. Is that the football, the nose of the football is inches from the goal line.
So Hoyt will have to punt with his back foot on the end line, the back side of the end zone. He gets the kick away. It's a high kick. Hernandez watches it bounce at the 35, takes a big hop out to the 40 and rolls to the 41, and that's where the Wildcats will take over.
Wildcats once again will take over in Cub territory. Time becoming a concern right now. Down 3 scores, minute and a half to go here in the 3rd quarter.
40-yard kick, no return. Wildcat football at the Cubs 41. Getting a new football in from the sideline, so taking a little time here with the stoppage. They still haven't started the play clock. Now they do. Cassville up on the line of scrimmage and ready to go. Bodie Rose throws down the line. Pass is caught by Ewing. Ewing takes a hit, dives down to the 37-yard line, picks up about 4, maybe 5 yards.
And we've got an injured player.
And that may be Ewing. He took a shot over there before he went down, and then he took another pretty hard hit after he went down. It's a gain of 4. He's got 6 catches on the night for 62 yards.
He's been thrown to a lot, 6 receptions, but he's been thrown to probably a dozen times or more. So been a focal point. The Wildcats have tried to get the football to him tonight. And we don't know for sure. It appears to be him, but we'll know shortly.
Medical staff from the Cassville sidelines attending to the injured Wildcat player. Monett, sports medicine trainer from Cox Health Monett. Cassville's from Mercy Hospital in Cassville, and they're checking out the injured Wildcat. Tonight's game brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net, Your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans is Eric Seifert. Find out more online at MedicareDoneRight.net. And your Wildcat broadcast team brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They're your hometown dealership with hometown roots. Proud to be giving back to their community. Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville. And it was Ewing that's being helped to the sidelines. Cassville 2nd down and 6 from the Monett 37 after the pickup of 4.
Well, it's difficult. It's difficult to score. Been difficult to score tonight. It becomes even more of a challenge when you lose one of your playmakers, and we hope that he is okay and is able to return.
Bodie Rose sends the 2 running backs out as receivers, so it's an empty backfield. Rose over the middle. He's got the tight end Hadlow at the 30-yard line. Isaac Hadlow right down the middle of the field, takes it inside the 20, all the way down close to the 15. First down, Cassville.
Yeah, good play call right there. A lot of motion going on, as you said, sending 2 running backs out wide in the slot. Little play action and hit your tight end dump right over the middle of the field. Good throw, nice catch there by Hadlow as he had gotten behind the linebackers. Took a shot after he received the football, but a big play right there.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in all your farm building needs. Find them online at SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com for examples of what they can custom build for you. Now the Wildcats back to the running game. As I believe that was Jacobson carrying the ball down to the 11 as he is able to pick up 5 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
A nice job, good push up front by the offensive line. Jacobson running hard as usual in behind that offensive line, lowering that shoulder, plowing his way forward.
So 2nd and 5 facing Cassville from the Monett 11, trying to take advantage of the short field after forcing Monett to punt out of their own end zone. Bodie Rose fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and trying to slide down the line and find a little hole to sneak through, and he does slip ahead to the 9, but it's a pickup of only 2, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
That'll take us to the 4th quarter. Wildcats knocking on the door.
So they will make the long walk to the other end of the field here at Burl Fowler Stadium. After 3 quarters, it's Monett 20, Cassville 0, but the Wildcats inside the 10-yard line facing 3rd down. We'll step aside, be back with quarter number 4 after the break. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Final 12 minutes on the clock here in Monett. The Cubs lead the Wildcats 20-0. Tonight's 4th quarter is brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. They came to Main Street in Cassville over 26 years ago to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. Convert an opportunity into a reality at First State Bank in Cassville. 3rd down and about 4 from the 9. So the Wildcats can keep the drive alive without scoring, but the Wildcats need some points right here as we are just about to start the 4th quarter. Monett leading 20-0. Bodie Rose gives the ball to Trey Wilson, and Wilson will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he is wrapped up from behind by Isaac Meeks along with Jake Hoyt, and he's going to lose a yard back to the 10. And that's going to bring up 4th down.
Looks like another injured player on the field. This time, I believe
it's a Monett Cub player. So now the other sideline's medical staff will attend to the injured player. Looked for a moment like Wilson had a little bit of running room, but we've seen this happen several times tonight. The Monett Cubs defenders coming around from the backside. They kind of bottle things up out in front and force the ball carrier try to figure out what hole he's going to try to sneak through, and while he's making that split-second decision, somebody comes from the backside and jumps on his back.
Yeah, big-time pursuit, almost like maybe something back against the grain might work to nullify some of that. A lot of times that works when you have a super aggressive defense that over-pursues. Cub player up, walking off on his own. That's good to see. Noticeable limp, so we hope he's okay. But you got to think this is 4-down territory. Again, Wildcats need touchdowns. Field goals aren't going to do them a lot of good right now.
Can't tell whether it's 52 or 62. It looks like 62. Fernando Hinojosa, the injured Cub player. He'll be checked out on the sideline. So here we go. 4th down, and they are lining up to kick a field goal, trying to get that goose egg off the scoreboard. They'll still need 2 more scores, whatever happens here. So Peter Littlefield with the tee down at the 17. The 27-yard field goal is good. So the Wildcats are on the board with 11:25 left to go in the football game. Monett leads it 20-3 after the 27-yard field goal from Peter Littlefield.
A nice kick there. Good snap, good hold. Littlefield getting the ball high in the air, end over end. Nice kick.
So the Wildcat field goal brought to you by the Barbecue Station. The sweet smell of midday on Main Street in Cassville, all courtesy of the Barbecue Station. You can get your bib on at the Barbecue Station and enjoy the Marple Bowl. It's a legend. Call them for all your catering needs at 847-0470. That's 847-0470. So Cassville is broken onto the scoreboard here early on in the 4th quarter. Now they will be kicking the ball away. Littlefield to handle those duties as well for the Wildcats. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Come try out the IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. It features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. We got Marcus Young, and is that Hoyt or Hildebrand back there? It's a squib kick, bounces and fielded. It is Hildebrand back at the 17-yard line, and Ian Hildebrand turns it up between the hashes and with a quick burst of speed is out across the 30, out to the 35, and they spot him down at the 36, so a good return, and the Cubs will start this drive at their own 36-yard line.
Well, Hildebrand covers some ground in a hurry, doesn't he, Sammy? He gets the football off the bounce, and he's covered 15 yards before you blink your eyes. Very fast with the football in his hands.
So 1st and 10 Cubs. They lead it 20-3 here with 11:19 left to play. In the 10th annual Berry County Brawl. This is the 10th edition of the Berry County Brawl. It got started back in 2013 with the trophy. And Davin Madrid going to keep the ball on 1st down, takes it out across the 40, now to the 41-yard line, and picks up 5 yards. And back like we were talking earlier, you got your quarterback plunging ahead for 5 or 6 yards every time. That'll keep you moving down the field.
Yep, no doubt about that.
Madrid also closing in on 100 yards rushing tonight here for the Cubs. 2nd down and 5. They keep the flankers in, double tight. Young starts in motion, now comes back, trying to get Cassville to jump. Now they reset. Here comes Madrid again, forcing his way right up the middle. He's across the 45 out to the 46, and this one's going to be close. It just depends on where they spot the football. Good surge by the interior of the Monett Cubs offensive line. And they are going to spot it at the 46, and we may have a measurement. We haven't had a measurement for a while. I'm going to bring the chains in. The 1st down measurement is brought to you by MedicareDoneRight.net. Your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans is Eric Seifert. Find out more information online at MedicareDoneRight.net. They're having a little trouble with the chain gang over there. Side judge is trying to get everything ready to go. Can't figure out what's going on. Something is tangled up or something over there. Now they've got it straightened out. 10:21 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Monett leading 20-3. And we'll see if the Cubs are able to pick up the 1st down as they stretch it out, and they do by the length of the football. That's only the 7th 1st down tonight by Monett, but that's a big one right there to keep this drive moving and take some more time off the clock here in quarter number 4.
Yeah, clock is certainly an issue for the Wildcats, but
and even with 2-point conversions, it's still a 3-score lead.
Right.
So they can try to milk a little time off the clock and shorten the game. Madrid takes it around the left end and plunges across the midfield stripe all the way down to the 47-yard line as he is able to pick up good yardage on first down.
Madrid is a young player, was a running back coming up, and I believe he switched to the quarterback position maybe as a 10th grader. But he certainly runs the football out of the quarterback position as a running back. Low center of gravity, strong, stocky looking build, and certainly runs that way.
That carry puts him over 100 yards on the night. Yeah, and he runs hard too, and he's a powerfully built back. He's got big lower body and uses that for leverage and also for power. This time they hand the ball off into the hands of Jake Hoyt. It's been a while since he's had a carry for the Cubs, and he keeps his balance and turns around and stumbles forward and picks up a Cub first down. Hoyt, with second effort, is able to take it down to the 41 for a gain of 5.
Hernandez able to bring him down at the end of the play, but as you stated, not before he was able to pick up that first down.
He got knocked off balance, but kept things moving ahead and will move the chains. We're down to 9 minutes left to play, and the Cubs leading 20-3. Cubs being a little more deliberate now, coming out of the huddle, taking as much time off the clock as they can. The play clock down to 10. Hoyt still yet to get under center. Play clock down to 5. Now he ducks under the center, and he takes the snap, pitches it back to Hoyt. Hoyt's got a wall of blockers in front, looking for a little cutback, and he takes it ahead to the 40, but is able to pick up only a yard.
A good pursuit there by this Wildcat defense, stretching the play down the line of scrimmage. And there is a penalty, and the Cubs are going to be called for holding this time.
Yep, the flag thrown about a yard behind the line of scrimmage. So that'll be the third penalty against Monett for a total of 20 yards, and it'll take the ball all the way back to the 47-yard line of Monett. So it negates the pickup by Hoyt and moves the ball back into Cubs territory. They've got to get to the Cassville 31 to pick up a first down. Right now they're at their own 47.
And again, no hurry to snap this football.
Madrid gives it up the middle. And the ball carrier for the Cubs is dropped just as he crosses the 50. As Josh Harvey gets the handoff, and it's his third carry of the night, and he's able to pick up nearly 5 yards, and it'll bring up second down.
5 yards on the play, second and 15 at the Cassville 48-yard line.
Game clock ticking down to 8 minutes.
Second down and nearly 20 to go for the Cubs. Their main concern right now is milking the clock a little bit as they lead by 17. Here goes Madrid. Madrid fighting ahead. Second effort. Madrid still going inside the 40, now inside the 35, and he may have picked up a first down. Let's see where they spot the football. Davin Madrid, we talked about the power, and he would not go down. There is a flag, though, thrown at the end of the play right where Madrid went down. Where they spotted the ball, he's got a first down. We'll see what the penalty flag's about.
Yeah, just a vicious run by Madrid that time. Second and 20. And Madrid rips off enough yardage for the first down, and a face mask against the Wildcats is going to give them another 5 yards.
It's a gain of 17 and tacks 5 more with the penalty. Takes it down to the 26. And the Monett Cubs, with a big run from Madrid, pick up the first down. The ball at the Cassville 26-yard line. This drive for Monett started back at their own 36. This will be the 9th play of the drive. And they've already taken over 4 minutes off the clock. Madrid got those knees up high, pounding down the middle of the field, and takes it inside the 20 down to the 18. As he is able to pick up 8 yards, it'll bring up second down and 2.
Cubs just lining up and running the football. Nothing fancy at this point in the football game. Wildcat defense been on the field a long time.
Yeah, we're getting close to 5 minutes on this drive by the Cubs. Second down and short. Cassville showing blitz. Madrid fakes a handoff, looking to throw. He's got a man back in the corner, and it's caught by Meeks for the touchdown. Well, that's one of those deals where they kind of lull you to sleep, just pounding the ball between the tackles. They released the tight end Meeks into the back corner, and Davin Madrid with a really well-thrown ball right into the corner and right into the hands of his receiver.
Big, tall receiver, Meeks, 6'5". Madrid threw the ball in the corner. Meeks ran underneath it. Just a play action right there. And as you said, it's just that's how you dial it up. You pound the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Makes that play action so effective.
So Eric Chavez to kick the PAT, and it is up and good. And with 6:36 left to play here in the Berry County Brawl, Monett strikes back after Cassville put points on the board. The Cubs now lead it 27-3 on the 18-yard touchdown pass from Davin Madrid to Isaiah Meeks. Ten-play, 64-yard drive. And it took not quite 4.5 minutes off the clock. So that puts the Wildcats into a little deeper hole here as we near the midway point of the fourth quarter. Trey Wilson and Hernan Hernandez drop back and await the kick. And it will be Eric Chavez this time kicking it away. Cubs have utilized him and Porter Reed for kickoffs tonight. Chavez boots this one into the wind. It's high and it gets caught up in the breeze. It bounces at the 20, picked up by Hadlow. He'll take it out across the 25, and good effort by Hadlow. Moves the ball all the way out to the 30-yard line for a return of 10 yards.
Yeah, you just kept waiting for somebody to grab the football. As it hit the turf, it bounced fairly high in the air. 3 Wildcats standing there waiting for it to come down. You know that clock is ticking as the coverage unit is flying down the field, but Hadlow ripped it out of the air, turned around, broke a couple of tackles, worked his way up the Cub sideline.
So 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 30-yard line. 6.5 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Cassville trailing Monett 27-3. Bodie Rose takes the snap, wanted to run the option, and runs right into the hands of Meeks. And I'm trying to get the number of the other guy that was there, but he's going to roll in behind a bunch of teammates. And up there he is, Alex Meisner. And it's a loss of 1 back to the 29. This defense for the Cubs has come to play tonight.
And stifling, really. Really no answer. The Cubs, the Wildcats have really had no answer.
Bodie Rose throws over the top, and it's caught by Hadlow out at the 40-yard line and picks up a first down. So they go to the big tight end, and he is able to move the chains out to the 43 for a gain of 14.
Nice catch in traffic by Hadlow right there. Tight end streaking straight down the field. Had just gotten behind the linebackers. They were kind of in his hip pockets there, and he went up in the air in between them and brought it down. Nice catch.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in all your farm building needs. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. 1st and 10 Wildcats at the 43. Pump fake by Rose. Now he goes over the top, and he's got Wilson at the 40. Trey Wilson right down the middle of the field. First down all the way down to the 25-yard line.
Nice job as Wilson came out of the backfield straight down the field. Pump fake by Rose, trying to draw those linebackers in on a different receiver. Laid the ball out there nicely. Wilson ran right underneath it, grabbed up around the shoulders, and, you know, pulled over to the side and backward. from where I sit, that's kind of a horse collar, and I don't know. I think they've missed a couple tonight.
It's a gain of 32. First down, Cassville, just outside the 25-yard line. Rose rolling to his right, throws underneath, and the ball is incomplete. Good defensive coverage that time by the Cubs. The intended receiver over there was, who? Was that King? Canyon King, saying it was his fault as he heads to the sidelines. He should have caught that ball. It'll be an incomplete pass, second down and 10 for Cassville at the Monett 26.
Second and 10 at the Monett 26-yard line.
We're down to 5 minutes now left to play. Monett leading 27-3. Twin receivers to the right. Rose rolling to his right, under pressure from Harvey. Throws to the Cassville sideline, another incomplete pass. We got a flag thrown on the backside of the play.
You know, a lot of times when you see holding calls and repeated holding calls against a football team, it's because the man lined up in front of them are beating them off the snap, and they're grabbing and holding to keep the defenders from making plays in the backfield. What you've seen out of this Cub defensive line, you've seen an athletic bunch, and you've seen them give this Wildcat offensive line trouble. They're beating them to spots, and they're having to reach and grab, and that's why we've seen all these penalties tonight.
The 10-yard penalty on the holding call against Cassville moves it back to the Monett 39. So it will be third down and about 25 yards to go. Cassville is yet to convert a third down here in the second half. Trip receivers to the right. Rose rolling that direction. Picks up a block from Wilson. Steps up, and the ball, couldn't tell whether it came out funny or somebody deflected it. Did somebody get a hand on that?
No, I think it just came out of his hand a little bit funny. He had a receiver right over there on the sideline, but that ball came out and really sailed on him over to the Wildcat sideline.
So that'll bring up fourth down now after the incompletion. And we're under 5 minutes left to go here in the football game. Monett looking to get the football back. Cassville needing a first down. And it looks like it's third down. So they had the yardage marker wrong over there, or do they? I thought it was fourth down. Rose this time, a little timing pattern, throws it up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. We got a flag between the 20 and the 25, as the target was Hernan Hernandez and Evan Witt on the coverage. And we got a flag thrown over on the Cassville sideline. And then we've got another flag down at the 15. So we got two penalties, possibly. We've got two pieces of laundry on the ground anyway. And the official's talking to the referee, and now he comes out and he signals holding against Monett. And that will be the penalty that is assessed against the Cubs. And now Coach Lewis wants an explanation. So they're going to mark off the penalty, spot it down at the 29-yard line. And it'll be third down, so it will be third down. They had the yardage marker a while ago wrong when they had it at fourth down. So third down and 13 now for Cassville. King and Hernandez go wide to the right. Wilson and Jacobson in the backfield. Rose throws underneath. The ball is tipped and incomplete. Hernan Hernandez on a little quick slant, and the ball was a little bit high. Hernandez tried to go up. Defense was there as well, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Defender over there did a nice job of coming over the top and knocking that football away. Hernandez trying to snatch it, had some room to work if he makes the catch. But a pretty nice play defensively there for the Cubs.
So now it's fourth down. 4th and 13 for Cassville at the Monett 29. Rose, straight drop, another timing, throws it up, and the receiver gets behind the cornerback and makes the catch for the touchdown. And that is Hernan Hernandez. circled around behind the cornerback and hauls it in for the score.
Rose did a nice job of laying that football out there in perfect position, allowing Hernandez to complete his route, get behind the defender, and run right underneath the football.
And now Littlefield in to attempt the point after. The kick is up, and the kick is good. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance for auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance. See the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville or in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza. Stop by and get a quote today. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by the Barbecue Station. Get your bib on at the Barbecue Station, 900 Main in Cassville. Give them a call for your next catered event, 847-0470. 29-yard touchdown pass from Bodie Rose to Hernan Hernandez. And the Wildcats have found the end zone for the first time tonight. And they trail 27-10 with 4:42 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Well, at this point, you have to kind of, I would assume you have to expect the Wildcats to attempt the onside. Try to get possession of the football once again. Down a couple of scores, just under 5 minutes to go in this game.
Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. With Baywash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Yeah, because that margin of being the 17, it's like you still got to get 3 scores, and not a lot of time to do that.
There's still 3. Yeah, you're right. My math was not good there, but a lot of work to do for the Wildcats, and they're able to work on some things tonight in this football game. We haven't seen an onside kick, and I don't know when, from the Wildcats.
And here it comes. The ball takes a big high hop, just what you look for it to do, but Diego Biden goes up and gets it for the Cubs. Good hands by him, and he hauls it down right at the 49-yard line of the Wildcats. And when a ball takes a big high hop like that, if you're the return team, you can go get it. Cassville has to wait for it to cross midfield. He didn't have to, and he alertly saw that big high bounce, and boy, you don't want to let it hit the ground again. Right. And he did exactly what he needed to do and hauled it in.
Yeah, got to go 10 yards, and the Cubs will maintain possession of this football.
So first down Monett at the Cassville 49. Cubs leading by 17, again being very deliberate, taking as much time as possible. They hand the ball off, and a good surge by the left side of the line. And the ball carrier still fighting for extra yardage. Takes it down to the 41-yard line, and that was Josh Harvey. We talk about Davin Madrid being a big, thick, hard-running ball carrier. Harvey the same at 210 or 215 pounds, and he is able to pick up nearly 9 yards, second down and short.
Yeah, just a bull coming out of that backfield.
Under 4 minutes now left to go here in the fourth quarter. Monett leading 27-10. Harvey lets the play clock tick down to 5 seconds, takes the snap, going to run it himself. Madrid has got the first down. I believe I said Harvey. Sorry about that. It's Madrid. Harvey had the carry on the previous call for Monett. Madrid picks up a Monett first down as he fights ahead to the 33-yard line, is able to gain nearly 8 yards.
Yeah, once again, just a physical run out of the Cub quarterback.
So first down Monett with 3.5 left to play. They'll be able to take at least half of this 3.5 off, unless the Wildcats are able to come up with the turnover. Madrid fakes the handoff, ducks in behind the ball carrier, and moves ahead to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 3 on first down, bring up second down and 7. Madrid now unofficially 141 yards on 19 carries tonight.
Yep, been tough to deal with, and the Cubs have been the aggressor tonight, and up front along the defensive line, and certainly running the football. They have played a physical brand tonight.
So second down and long for Monett from the Cassville 30. Let the play clock tick down a little longer. Get it down to about 5 seconds before they take the snap. Madrid this time hands the ball off. And Hoyt gets the call. Straight up the middle he goes. Down to the 27 as he picks up 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4. Monett's converted only 1 3rd down tonight. And they face a 3rd and 4 here with 2 minutes left to play. Marcus Young in motion. Madrid delays things a little bit, lets a few more seconds tick away. Now he'll take it, and he's going to run it, and he's got the 1st down as he takes it down to the 20-yard line.
Just a nice job of getting down, running the ball low, getting behind those pads, taking on contact, and another 1st down for the Cubs.
So now 1:40 left to go. And they spot him down at the 21. 1st and 10 Monett. And the Cubs are using this final drive here to seal away this victory. Right up the middle, the ball carrier goes as Madrid hands it off to Hoyt. Hoyt powers forward down to the 16 as he is able to pick up about 4 yards.
And when you're a running football team and you're able to run successfully and continue to run 2nd down, 3rd down, pick up a 1st down, it's demoralizing to a defense. You just don't feel like they're ever going to get the football away from them, and it doesn't look like the Wildcats are going to get it back tonight.
We are under a minute to go. Monett looking to break the 5-year reign of the Cassville Wildcats as the Berry County Brawl champs. They hand the ball off to Harvey. Harvey off left tackle. Still not going down. Harvey just lowers the shoulders and keeps those legs churning and pushes down close to the 11-yard line, a gain of 5.
And that should do it. They do not have to snap the football.
He comes up just short of the 1st down, but, well, nope, they do give him the 1st down. They just hadn't reset the chains. So that will seal away the win. 28 seconds on the game clock. Once they put the play clock and the game clock back in motion, Monett will not have to snap the football. The Cubs, with a big 1st half, ride it to a victory. Defense set the tone early, and Monett used that stiff defense all night long, and they will win the 2022 Berry County Brawl 27-10 over the Cassville Wildcats.
Tough physical football game tonight. Wildcats able to get on the board late in the football game to get rid of the shutout. But the Cubs came in and took care of business on their home turf tonight and are the Berry County Brawl champs. Just a tough game. Wildcats going to have to regroup and get ready for playoff football next week.
So now it's on to district play. Monett in Class 4, Cassville in Class 3. And Monett takes the Berry County Brawl here in 2022 as they win it 27-10 over the Cassville Wildcats. We'll step aside, be back with the postgame show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Sports Network. Back at Burrow Fowler Stadium, the Monett Cubs claimed the 2022 Berry County Brawl 27-10 over the Cassville Wildcats. Monett jumped out to a 20-0 halftime lead. Cassville got on the board early in the fourth quarter on a 27-yard field goal by Peter Littlefield, and then Monett answered on an 18-yard pass from Davin Madrid to Isaiah Meeks. The final score coming from Cassville with 4:42 left, a 29-yard pass from Bodie Rose to Hernan Hernandez. And our final score, 27-10. Monett with the victory. They win 3 of their last 4, and they snap the Berry County Brawl winning streak for the Cassville Wildcats. We will step aside and be back with more here in the law office of John A. Lee Wright postgame show. We're going to visit with the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Clay Weldy, also go over the final game stats and look ahead to district play. You're listening to Big 8 football here tonight on the Talon Network. Back with you here in Monett. We continue on with the law office of John A. Lee Wright post-game show. They want everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. Graciously joined here in the post-game now by the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Clay Weldy. And Coach, a tough one tonight. Monett jumped out with some early momentum, forced a couple of early turnovers, turned those turnovers into points, and got out to an early lead. It was a more evenly played second half, but that early lead by the Cubs propelled them on to the win tonight.
Yeah, and, I thought that Monett played really well tonight. I thought they were more physical than us on both sides of the ball. And that was, to me, what dictated the whole game is that, we talked about all week about doing little things correctly. And I told our guys, it's going to come down to, I think we're very evenly matched, but the team that has the most turnovers and penalties is going to lose the game. And we definitely were the team that had the most penalties, and we had the most turnovers. We had, I think, 3 in the first half that were in bad field position that gave them short field and they were able to score on. So, we didn't do the little things correctly. They did, and that would happen in the game.
Yeah, their defense, like you said, started trying to set a tone early in the ball game, and they were kind of able to establish themselves up on the line of scrimmage, and that helped them get things working some short fields for their offense, and they were able to put the ball in the end zone off of those short fields.
I was very impressed with them defensively, and I thought on film, I told our guys all week ago, guys, they're going to play really hard. We beat them 6 straight times. They're going to be very motivated. It's going to be senior night for them, and they did a very good job. They were way more physical than us tonight, and I think that the turnovers and the penalties was the name of the game.
got things, made your adjustments at halftime, got things going a little better in the second half. You had a long drive that took a lot of time off the clock, but ended up with no points. But then your final two possessions, you were finally able to break through on the scoreboard.
Yeah, there was some, we had some frustrations. We got down, deep in the red zone and had a miscommunication on a play call, and that's frustrating, but it happened, and we got a lot of work to do to get ready for next week.
Ground game, as you had talked about, was kind of bottled up a little bit tonight, but your passing game, especially in the second half, got things going for you, and that ended up going up against a pretty good secondary by the Cubs. They've got a lot of interceptions. They came up with 2 first half, but your second half, you were doing a much better job throwing the football.
Yeah, we had some opportunities in the first half. We just could not get in sync, and we hit a play here, and then we missed. I think we missed 2 big ones in the first half that could have been scores, but we got a young quarterback who keeps getting better every week, and those are throws that he'll be making, hopefully later this year. But his junior senior year is going to be this automatic type plays for us, as he learns his sophomore year.
Well, it's crazy how quickly the regular season has flown by, but now we're focusing on district play. Next Friday night, the first round of district play, everyone starts back over 0-0, and now it's win in advance and losing your season's over. So next Friday night, the Wildcats, after all the tabulations and calculations are being made right now after tonight's football games, we've got Osage. They've already won over Versailles. Back and forth ball game going on between Warsaw and Buffalo. They're the teams that are ahead of Cassville right now in the standings. But next Friday night, you hope to have a home game, but we'll wait and see how all the numbers calculate out.
Yeah, we'll I told our guys that, I go, we didn't help ourselves tonight, obviously, by losing. If we would have won tonight, there's maybe a chance we could have moved, I don't think we can go down. I think we'll probably be the 4th seed. I think the 2 teams below us will stay there. So more than likely the 4th seed. If not, I told our guys we'll go play. If it's at home or on the road, we'll go play wherever, and no excuses. We didn't do our job tonight, so we got to make it for it next week.
The one thing about this district, there's only 6 teams in it. Reed Spring, if you look at record-wise, and they're battling Mount Vernon tonight for the Big 8 East Championship, but even with their record in some of the games, and you look at the scores throughout the season, this is a wide-open district. Team get back on a roll now, moving into the first week of district play, and this Class 3 District 6 is kind of up for anybody right now.
Yeah, it starts with the first one. You got to win that first one. If you don't do that, it won't matter. And if we play like we did in the first half tonight, we'll be in trouble. You can't turn the ball over this time of year, and you can't have a bunch of penalties and get beat the line of scrimmage, or you can't play on. So we got a lot of things to fix, and hopefully we can get better this week and try to get a win.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here in the post game. Have a good week of practice as you get ready for district. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, Sammy.
Head Coach Clay Weldy joining us here on the Law Office of John A. Lee Wright post-game show. Their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and representing you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Give them a call at 847-2177. We'll step aside and be back to wrap things up here from Burl Fowler Stadium after this. Back at Burrow Fowler Stadium, the Monett Cubs win it tonight over the Cassville Wildcats 27-10 to take the 2022 Berry County Brawl, the 10th edition of the Berry County Brawl. Cassville's won 6, Monett has now won 4, and the Monett Cubs snapped the 5-game winning streak of the Cassville Wildcats. Last time Monett had won was back in their state championship year in 2016, but they win it tonight, and defense set the tone early. Offense was able to take advantage of some short fields set up by the defense, and the Monett Cubs ride that to a big win here tonight, 27-10 over the Cassville Wildcats. And Monett now has won 3 of their last 4, headed into district play, and they're in Class 4, and they're in Class 4 District 6. They will be in action next Friday. Cassville in Class 3 District 6. They'll also have the start of district play next Friday as well, and we'll know more about who each will be playing probably at the start of next week. If you jump on MSHA, their website, mshsaa.org, tomorrow they'll probably have all of those calculations and tabulations figured in, and you can see what's going on. All right, some other scores around the Big 8. Rogersville beats Aurora 45-0. Reed Spring and Mount Vernon went to overtime. The Mountaineers had an early lead. Reed Spring came back, got the game tied, and the Reed Spring Wolves finish unbeaten 6-0 in the Big 8 East as they win at 35-34 in overtime. Nevada ends Seneca's perfect season as they knock off the Indians 49-14. Now, I think Seneca may still have the Big 8 West, or they might have to share it with Lamar. We're not sure about the sharing of conference titles and how that affects. But Seneca, with their first conference loss and their first loss of the season, as Nevada beats them 49-14. Speaking of Lamar, they go to Hollister and knock off the Tigers 41-0. McDonald County ends their season with a win over East Newton 40-14. And Marshfield beats Springfield Catholic 38-7. Some possible future district opponents for Cassville. Osage with a 52-0 win over Versailles tonight. And the last score we had, Warsaw was beating Buffalo, but that we haven't got a final on that one, so we'll see what happens. Right now, those two schools ahead of Cassville in the district standings. But like we said, we'll see how it all calculates and tabulates out once those standings are released sometime tomorrow. All right, it's time for our post-game awards. We start off with our hard hit of the night, and it is brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For any and all of your stone or aggregate needs, stop by Berry County Ready Mix at any of their convenient locations in Shell Knob, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. You can phone their Cassville office for a free estimate at 847-3200. That's 847-3200. Our hard hit of the night goes to DJ Glidewell. He had that stick back in the first half, and that ended up standing out for the rest of the night. DJ Glidewell gets our hard hit of the night. And our Wildcat player of the game is brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. Locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Our player of the game is Garrett Ewing as he finishes unofficially with, if I can find my stat sheet, and what have I done with it? It didn't blow away. There it is. 6 catches for 62 yards on the night. He also contributed on the defensive side and also in the special teams as well. Garrett Ewing, our Wildcat player of the game tonight.
Yeah, kind of a tough one tonight to find that player of the game. Thought about maybe going with a defensive player, but the Wildcats certainly were trying to run a lot of that offense through Ewing tonight, throwing the ball to him with 6 grabs, several more attempts trying to get him in space and involved in this offense. But
and it was another one of those nights, just an inch or two here or there, and he may have had 8 or 10 receptions too. So.
Right. So tough. Just tough night for the Cats.
Well, the Wildcats now will start district play next Friday. Right now, it looks like they could get a home game. We'll see how that all plays out. It's always beneficial to have home game to start district play off. But like Coach Weldy said, they'll go and play whoever, whenever, wherever, whatever the numbers reveal. And everyone back to starting over again. It's like I said earlier, win in advance, lose, and your season comes to a close now on.
At this point, you've got to shake this game off, and you've got to get ready. And we talk about it. It's kind of new season. Everybody's 0-0, and you win, you keep playing. You lose, and you start playing basketball. So you just got to try. You just got to win football games from here on out.
Well, that's going to wrap things up for our broadcast here tonight. We'd like to thank all the folks at Monett High School, Athletic Director Darrell Bradley and all of his staff for all the hospitality this evening. Thanks to Coach Weldy for dropping by and visiting with us here at the post game. And also thanks to Dwayne and Janet for keeping an eye on things, as always, back at the studios in Aurora, as they keep track of things every Friday night for us in case any of us have trouble, and we appreciate their help. Thanks to all of our sponsors once again for helping support our broadcast tonight. They're the ones that help us get these games out on the airwaves, whether on the radio, online, or on with the web TV broadcast. We thank each and every one of them so very much for helping support our broadcast in Cassville High School athletics. They'll be back with us next week as we open up district play, and tune in Monday at 9:30, from 9:30 to 10 for the morning sports brief, as we'll find out who plays where and when and all of that from the Missouri State High School Activities Association as we move on to district play week number 10 of the high school football season. Once again, our final score here tonight: Monett wins the Berry County Brawl. They snapped the 5-year reign of Cassville, claiming the trophy, as Monett wins it tonight over the Wildcats 27-10. Speaking for Jeremy Marple and Todd Speakman, this is Sammy Clapper saying thanks for joining us and good night from Burrow Fowler Stadium.